All right, guys, welcome back to the Goodest Cast. And on this episode, we got kind of a crazy one for you. Sara Choi. We get to talk about Gumball 3000, which is a dream of mine to do. We talk about mental health vegetables. We talk about her sneaking out to go to the street races in Hawaii growing up. We talk about the Honda scene. We talk about drifting. We talk about competing in another country in a borrowed car and trying to get comfortable. We talk about a lot of crazy, wild stuff. And honestly, this was a super sick episode to sit down and talk to Sara. I really get to know her. So I hope you guys enjoy this one as much as I did. Sara Choi, Goodest Cast, roll it. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
In Tarzana.
Yeah. Oh. Whoa. What a weird place.
Call of the Wild, but they can't hear you because you have soundboards.
I looked it up and they named this area after the guy who like invented Tarzan, like the show or movie or whatever it was originally.
Right, okay, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I guess he like lived here and yeah.
Make it sound
it's like the
mysterious.
most LA stuff ever. And like the little like downtown strip on Ventura, like there's all it's called like the Safari Walk, and there's like all these like
really?
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I had no idea this place existed before we moved here. But enough about this weird city that we're in. I want to know, like, let's go way back. I want to hear about how you kind of discovered cars, because you're very interested in the scene and you're like a big Honda person, but then also drifting and you're hosting meets in foreign countries and driving professionally now on top of all the other stuff you're doing. Like, where did that all start?
Yeah. I mean, long story. When I was like 14, I mean, childhood-wise, I kind of had a troubled childhood. Asian Korean parents. My mom met my dad by picture and then immigrated to Hawaii, and then had me, and then he left, and then till 14, I think, I went through some, childhood things. She met a new dad. I had a new stepdad and stuff, and then I started running away home a lot. I went to 9 schools in Hawaii. There's 9 schools in Hawaii. I mean, like, there's more than that. It's a small island, but...
Why did you change schools? Just like...
They just kept changing neighborhoods, and then I had to keep hopping schools in that districts. I went to, like, few private schools, and then I was a troubled child, so I got kicked out of, like, 2-3 of them. And then I fully rebelled. I was, like... 14 and a half, 15, I started running away from home a lot. And then I intentionally went homeless for since then. And then I used to hang out, since I had all these different friends from different schools and stuff, for some reason I started to hang out at this plaza, and all those boys were called Market City boys. And they were all into street racing. We have a huge military base in Hawaii, so that's when all the army dudes would bring out all their muscle cars and exotics. And then Hawaii actually had a huge scene from way back, because Japan is right there and stuff. And I guess Hawaii kind of had the initial taste of drifting from Japanese guys coming over. And so the JDM scene was pretty huge. There was a huge VIP scene, huge Honda scene. And I joined, Market City boys, they would always go to all these car cruises at the Navy Exchange Center. They would meet up every night, and it would be half Army dudes and half of all the locals that are into cars and stuff. And we only have 2 freeways called the H1 and H2. So everyone would get this text, and it's the route. Whoa. And 200-300, sometimes even more than that, we're all just bombing it down the freeway. Every weekend, every Wednesdays, stuff like that. And so, I would hop in and, experience that. And then, eventually, I was okay, I'm broke. Oh, they would take me into their homes and stuff, and, I would hop around and sleep all at my friends' houses and stuff. And then they're you need a job. So I was like, yeah, do you guys know anyone? And that's when I got introduced to they used to be called hypersports. That's where all like Force them are all from. But they changed it to Sonic Motorsports. And then I met the owner there, who's my old boss, now works at Joe Tech in Texas. And then I got my first job there as a receptionist. And that's how I kind of started to learn more of like mechanics and more of the racing stuff instead of just being part of like the illegal street racing and stuff. And then my boss bought me my first EK Coupe, which was like, 99 Civic.
Sick.
I paid it off by each paycheck. And then like he'll get like random parts in here and there and he would just like toss it over to me. I like throw on a Jackson Racing. It's like supercharger on a single cam non-V. I thought it was so fast. I was like 15 and a half, pulling like stretching stock GSRs and shit. And then I would like join the car cruises and stuff and finally be able to race with the Market City boys. And we would go to like industrial areas and I would actually, it sounds corny and stuff, but when two cars line up, I would sometimes be that girl. It's like, yeah, like go.
No way.
Yeah, in my like super Hawaii look and like my flip flops and like stuff like that. and then I joined a team. They're all Filipino group called VPR Hawaii. All their Hondas used to show in like Importuner and stuff like that. They're pretty gangster. And I was like, it's dope. Like I look back at photos and they're just this whole group of Filipinos and one like pale ass Korean girl just in the photo of like at shows and stuff. And then they became like my family. And then I think that's how I kind of fell in love with more of like the community and the adrenaline of things. I mean, I was a rebel, right? So like all that adrenaline stuff and like that illegal stuff, I transferred all that other rebel stuff into cars. And then like coming from like troubled, family that I didn't really have, this whole community became like my family.
Yeah.
And so like that's how I think I grew attachment and like love for the scene and stuff. And then at the tuning shop, that's where it started. I flipped my Civic for CRX because I thought CRXs was like the coolest Hondas ever.
Yeah.
And it's like a rolling coffin. I like thought it was so cool and a little Asian girl and like I had like it was like a 89 SI. Had like Type X's on red. It's pretty cool.
Sick.
Flipped that for randomly. It was like an ex I was dating at that time. He was like super into VIP, so like I bought a TLS, threw on some fusas and drapes and shit, and then had that phase, and then flipped that for an S2000 AP2, pink one. Totaled that.
Oh shit!
Because I called out a friend randomly when I saw them passing by on the freeway, and I like spun out and crashed it. Got insurance money, got a black S2000 again, and then long story short, traded that for a CR when I was working at a dealership. So I just went off.
Yeah, no,
long
cool.
story short.
Yeah, the CR. Do you still have the CR?
I do. Yeah,
that's the one you still have.
Yeah, it's been 11 years now.
Yeah, that's a really cool car.
Thanks. Yeah,
I was like, that's like dream spec for me, but I can't fit in them.
The S2000 was like my high school dream car, and then when I had my black S2000, I never thought it was like that was it. Like I have my dream car, and then I was working part-time at a third-party dealership, and then my boss told me like, oh, there's a repoed CR coming in from Big Island. And I was like, yo, like, let me, don't even post it. Like, I'm going to trade in my car for this and just done deal. And then so I got it for like $29,000.
Oh, that's so lucky.
Yeah. Now at like 14,000 miles. And now it's like, you can sell that for like 100,000 something. It's insane.
That's insane.
Which I'll never sell, by the way. So
it's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like, I mean, you kind of touched on it, but you're saying that going and
feeling adrenaline and being part of something kind of dangerous was your escape from the pretty much tumultuous life.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that was the best kind of place you could have put your energy instead of some of the other avenues that were?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I was blessed to find a group that even showed me a different high
Yeah.
than the other
Yeah.
bad stuff that you could do. And in Hawaii, like everyone kind of start things at a young age because there's nothing other to do. And then yeah, I was just blessed to channel all that into street racing and stuff. And then somehow I think working at the shop and stuff, like obviously a mix of customers come in from drifters to just like to drag to just car enthusiasts, or they're just rich guys that just want like crazy cars and they just like they don't do anything with it, right? So like I would learn slowly like other areas of the car scene and realize there's like more to it, and then learned little things like my one of my boss's friends, like how I learned about some stuff initially was my boss friend would call me as a receptionist, right, and act like a customer and be like, oh, I'm trying to order like pistons for my FD. And then like I didn't know shit. Yeah, I didn't know shit. I was like, okay, let me check. And then like he's like, you stupid, like fucking rotary like FDs don't have pistons. I was like, oh, why? And that's how I would like learn and stuff. And then like when he's tuning cars, because he was like one of the only pretty big, well-known tuners in Hawaii. And so like when he's tuning a car and I'll see the screen, I'm like, what's that line? Why does it go this and that? He's like, oh, that's like boost lag and then it hits here and blah, blah, blah. And then like, I was like, why is like, there's 3 different numbers or like, and then kind of like, and then by breaking my Civic a lot, I mean, that Jackson Racing supercharger was discontinued for a reason. To the point I like took out my thermostat. I was just like, YOLO, I'm tired of seeing it overheating. And yeah, like shit like that, I slowly started learning. And then that's when Instagram, I think a few years later when I was like 18 is when Instagram came to be, because I was still in the Facebook era.
Yeah.
And then Instagram, I started when I look back, I see like my Civic and like a Subway sandwich post, and then like for some reason I flexed my like first paycheck, and like it was so weird. And then there was like a super Asian like selfie of me, and then, like with like the super ghetto filters back then. And then that's when I guess social media started to do well for me, and then LA hit me up and was like, hey, you should do some shoots here or like whatever. And then in Hawaii, it's really hard to make a living unless you're like, you either work a 9 to 5 or you own a business or you're doing like underground shit. And then when LA hit me up, I thought like it was a sign from the universe, like, hey, like if you stay in Hawaii and keep going into this life, like,
you're not going to be able to
leave. So I don't know. But I was like, okay. So before I went to LA, I decided to go to Japan for a year. Because I lived in Osaka for a year. And
how old were you?
19, 20.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then I was working at this like JDM apparel shop-ish, but there were a bunch of like drifters. And then
what was it called?
I don't want
to... Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you don't have to say.
No one's cool with them now. In that world, like, no one knows them, but some people aren't cool with them. But, whatchamacallit? That's when I would start being around drifting and stuff. Well, I've been, like, here and there in Hawaii with, like, like Toshi. He's a longtime childhood Hawaii friend. And, like,
because he used to drive in Hawaii a lot.
Yeah. And I wasn't tapped into that drift scene at all. It was a whole different like clique of that side of the world in Hawaii, and I was more in the Honda, like car cruise, highway racing, street racing stuff. And so like when I started to meet like other like car enthusiasts like Toshi and stuff, which he got me in trouble when I got arrested once because of him because we raced with each other. And back then he had like a blue 180 S13 and I was in my black S2000. Long story short, we raced and he had a normal blue and white on him and I had like a Mustang cop on me. Because in Hawaii, you can have like your personal cars as your cop car.
Oh, no
so it's
way.
Like, yeah. You'll see like Slam G35s cops and like
What?
a GTR cop. And like, it's really funny. And Forerunners, obviously, and then blue and whites, like depending on the rank.
Damn.
Yeah. And so that Mustang cop was also a dick. And anyways, like, so that's my memory with Toshi. We hated each other.
No way.
Because he was like, he was a chaotic like kid. So he was known as calling out everyone on the highway and like didn't care like who it was and would like nonstop be like one time. I don't know if you guys do this out here, but one time in Hawaii means like let's go.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like we'll just do this out the window and he won't stop till you like. So yeah, he was hated for that, but after that we became like bestest of friends. But
yeah, it's crazy how that works sometimes.
yeah, I forget what I was talking about before that.
Oh,
Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then would sometimes, you know, living in Osaka, I would see some drifting. And then my first time getting off my first ride along was Baisan.
No way.
Yeah, at
my
Bihoku.
God.
Yeah, it was my first time. And I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's a crazy
this
first
is
ride along.
another high. Like, this is the next step high. I mean, they're great. Both are, like, amazing highs. But, yeah, when I rode with Baisan, I was just like, oh, shit, that's crazy. And I was like, drifting is super cool. Because, I mean, I witnessed it in Hawaii up at Tantalus, which is, like, Hawaii's Angeles Crest. But people could only connect, like, 2 turns. And, like, it was so sus because cops and stuff. But at the track, you know, it's a different story, especially at Bihoku. And with Baisan, I didn't even really know who he was.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, till like after I rode with him and then I started looking into videos and stuff like, oh shit, he's like an OG.
Yeah.
And
He's
then,
really cool too.
Yeah, he was so nice and so cute. Yeah, and then from there, here and there, I would model for. I mean, I umbrella girled for Hibino for the whole year.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I have old pictures and stuff. I deleted it all on my feed, but
That's fair. That's pretty cool though.
yeah, that's when I also learned like, oh, he's also really OG.
Yeah.
That's how I started to learn about like all the history and stuff and then being around them, and Hibino's super sweet. And I was trying to make money to save up before I moved to LA. And so that's kind of the gist of how I first experienced drifting and then moved to LA. And then
Yeah, why leave Japan? Were you just like trying to
I met my ex at Tokyo Auto Salon, and then I was like, oh, I should just go there earlier. And then I went to LA and then started working LA stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shipped my S2000 over, and then
Did you have a car in Japan?
no, I used the shop I worked for. He had like a bunch of S13s and stuff, so like
sick.
I would just fuck around with it or
that's
drive
cool.
it. Yeah, I didn't need my.
You're like, I'm good.
And I was like 19, 20. Like couldn't afford buying my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Honestly, that's such like an epic time to be in Japan too.
Yeah.
Like young and fucking do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Sick.
That's actually the first time I learned how to do donuts. Because after like riding with them and then like being
like,
in
oh, I
FD
need to do
Japan,
this.
being an umbrella girl for Hibino and like seeing everyone like, I wanna tap into this adrenaline. And so it was raining one night in Osaka and we went to back and he's like, yeah, go take my 13. Just
That's pretty sick. So you were like, before we move on to the LA chapter, you were like really, I mean, you got in trouble for street racing. Like you were out, like that was like a big part of your life in Hawaii. Like you were like really about it.
Well, also in Hawaii, we don't have a point system.
Oh, interesting.
So like, you know, in LA, when I got here, oh my God, all my shit transferred into this point bullshit. Versus in like Hawaii, when you get a ticket, you just pay it off. It doesn't like eventually it will raise your insurance, but you don't get that penalized severely, like taking your license away, suspended,
right,
and stuff. So we had this mentality where we just pay it off. So it was more easy to like do that.
Kind of sick.
Yeah. But there was definitely trouble, potential stuff. Yeah.
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 I can't imagine. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty like sketchy path, but like doing what you have to do, and then you had this like kind of cool way to try something new. Go to Japan and then go to LA. Like what was your goal coming to LA?
To be honest, I don't know. I was so young, and then I had like I think I was still in a fog of like childhood trauma, or like still in that whole daddy issue phase. So I wasn't really ever had a future goal or like a plan. I was just like by day, like if I'm
Surviving.
alive, and like, and then being caught up in relationships, because that's what it was missing my whole like childhood. So I was just caught up in my bullshit, and then caught up like projecting, finding unhealthy coping mechanisms, which is doing street racing and stuff like that to release some stuff. But looking back now, like I'm so glad I grew up like that, because it wouldn't have leaded up to, I guess, like I love my life now. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. Yeah. I think having like, I think once you get to the point where you can like appreciate what it's given you, then it's pretty beautiful. But until then, it's pretty fucking hard.
Yeah, like you get caught up in your bullshit, and you get in this like stuck in this victim thing, and I would just be like, man, no dad, just like doing all this shit, and like the world's against me, and long, like, simply said.
Yeah.
But then I went through a lot of therapy and stuff, and got out of that and looked at everything objectively. I think I remember I talked to guys briefly over outside. We were like at a food mart. We were talking about shrooms and stuff.
Yeah, it was after that like crazy Up Garage USA opening where they thought there was going to be like 100 people, and like there were police helicopters and like cars everywhere, and everyone's getting like 50 tickets. It was I was like, damn, this is like 2000s era spec fucking cops and like tuner scene.
Well, that's like sick.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. I'm not like, I didn't drive there and I didn't get any tickets, so I was like, damn, this is like.
Yeah, like that's a car meet experience. I don't know about 50 tickets. Like it looked like 100 tickets and like helicopter level, but like the whole cops pulling up, and I think that high being around that is like really. You know what I mean? I love car meets. That's why I throw them.
Yeah.
But I got in trouble in Japan.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be when I get back.
Whoa.
I don't know. Let's see if we want to leave this or not, because they're watching, but I'll tell you later. But long story short, I threw the meet I did it 3 years in a row now. And I, it just got doubles the amount. And this year's one, a lot of people came, like I had over 800 email subscribers for like the location and stuff, and cars, it's like insane and stuff. And I ended up not pulling up to the first location because everyone was texting me like, yo, cops pulled up and they're pressing everyone, because 6 years ago, maybe you can bleep this out, to jail, well, everyone knows, but for 2 weeks, because they threw a crazy meet. And I didn't pull up to a first location, and the second location was fine. It went really well. And then 3 days later, I got a DM from Muro-san from Rocket Bunny, and it just says, hello, cops are looking for you. And I was like, 3 days later? That's sus. You know what I mean? Like, if it's on the same day, like, oh, I get it, like it's a day of, and they're trying to look for whoever hosted it. But 3 days later is like they're thinking about it and they've been actively, and especially going to other people that are related with me to the point where they messaged me about it. I was like, ooh. So like I changed my flight the next day and I left. But I don't know now.
Yeah.
I'm basically live there. Well, I've been trying to move. It just kept getting delayed, but we'll see.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's just a meet.
Yeah, but the laws are so different. So in America, everything is actually really free. Like I love the good thing about America is it's pretty still free. Versus in Japan, like it's just really strict.
Yeah.
They look at things differently, and it's more of a like a causing havoc, and yeah, it's a bigger deal.
Yeah, well, hopefully you're good. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I heard the Japanese police are super nice and don't like they let things go really easily. So
I don't know about that. I don't know about that if you've heard about like recent street drifting stuff, and yeah, but we'll see. Yeah.
So speaking of Japan, I've seen you over there like in Osaka recently and getting to go to like the track and stuff, and you've been driving out there a little bit.
Osaka?
Yeah.
Did I drive out there recently? I don't. Last year. Actually, I haven't drove in Japan since like a few years ago.
Mm.
Yeah, last year was all in other Asia countries. No, actually, never mind. I drove once with Toshi at I think it was Bihoku, beginning of the year. But last year was mainly Southeast Asia and other Asia. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
I think we cut you off also. I kind of want to go back to we were actually like talking about like life and healing and stuff, and we were talking about the meat, and then I talked about the meat and changed the subject.
Sorry, my ADD sometimes.
It's okay. I'm just as bad. You brought up mushrooms, which we have talked about like once on the podcast so far, like a long time ago, but maybe we'll bleep out like what we're saying. I don't know. We can leave it in. What do you? Yeah.
Is it legal to say on?
I don't think so. I mean, it's still like not legal.
Oh, it's such a scam.
It's like
it's Mother Nature, guys.
Yeah, it's decriminalized.
Is it okay to talk about?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. We can cut it out if you want.
I think we can keyword it just in case.
Yeah.
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 Plant?
Fungus.
Fungus. Yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you talked about that a bit, and that's something that I've also been working with to help with some past issues and
amazing
life shit. So I don't know. Have you noticed like a big difference in kind of how you like looking at life, or what has changed for you?
Yeah. Wait, do you microdose or sometimes on and off, like just?
I microdose, and I've done
vegetables.
More than that. Yeah.
Sometimes eat vegetables. Yeah. Maybe sometimes eat a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
Depends, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I love vegetables. I mean, it saved my life. Sounds so stupid. But yeah, I think I remember during when I was like 26, 31 by the way. So when I was 26 or 7, I think I was at my lowest point, which is actually the best point of your life to start any turning point. I mean, it's either you kill yourself or you get better. And so
real.
Yeah, it really is. When you're at the lowest point, like I feel like people don't change till they face their lowest, because then that consequence isn't big enough for them to trigger a need to change, you know? So I'm super grateful for me getting to even experience my lowest at earlier on, mid-20s. And I did therapy. I tried everything, and nothing was like working for me. And then I started getting really chemically imbalanced, and then I ended up at the psych ward. And then after that, I came out of it. I was like, okay, well, nothing worked till this point. So, and then a homie of mine was like, hey, you should really try vegetables one day. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, that's one of the last like chances I guess I'll try. I mean, I think I'll try. And so this super beginning of COVID, I just ate a whole bar of vegetables. Just the whole thing. I took 3 pieces of vegetables, and then I was like, go hard or go home. Like, I just want to, I remember watching YouTubes and having prep talks with friends, and like, they're like, you know, try to like ease in it, or, you know, good trip's a bad trip, and like, blah, blah, all that stuff, right? And then when I took 3 pieces, I was just like, I was just gonna go hard. So I took, and it's COVID. Like, what else interesting, better than that's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, I want to feel something, right? So
Yeah.
I ate the whole bar of vegetables, and I was in fetal position for 6 hours, having like the heaviest feeling I've ever felt. But after that, I was like, oh, that was probably like 10 years worth of probably things it would have probably took 10 years for me to process that all those feelings, but that vegetable helped me do it in, like, gather that in one trip.
Sitting, yeah.
Yeah. And then so next day, suddenly I like took a jog every morning, like being on this healthy thing and whatever for a week. And then I was like, oh, wow, this actually like really helps. And then ever since then, I like would microdose. And I was actually on meds. And I really wanted to get off meds because I just felt like a zombie. Yeah. And have you took meds before?
Some stuff, but nothing crazy. Yeah.
Different kind of vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I wanted to cold turkey on it because I was just like such a zombie. I wasn't myself. And then on vegetables, I would think like, you know what? All those meant like chemical imbalance issues that I had made me who I am today, and made me the friends that I made, and brought me to like, so it's not actually a bad thing. And I was a super huge fan of Kanye at that time. And he has bipolar, and that's what I was diagnosed as. And like, he was so delulu in his shit that he thought he was God, and it actually got him to like a crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I was like, something's not bad to like be all like manic sometimes. But then I was like, but I want to get off meds. And then I want to get to like a steady level of, now I consider all like ADHD, bipolar, all this like stuff, all just one chemical imbalance. Because I started studying like Chinese like medicine and all this like spiritual energy stuff and whatever. And I think they're all the same shit. They overlap a lot of same symptoms.
Yeah. If you look up, like ADHD and like borderline personality disorder have like almost all the same things, and you're like, those cannot be the same.
Yeah.
Like, those cannot be the same thing. And then you're just like, all right, well, which one?
It just depends who's your doctor that day and who was educated more in one topic or not. They're like, oh, you're this, you know, and then they just feed you meds and stuff. And just when I wanted to go full hippie route. And then I microdosed for a month, locked myself in my room. And worst month of my life, but the best. And then, that was a huge turning point for sure.
Yeah, was it just like more self-awareness?
Extremely self-awareness. And then like, you just like, you know, when you're on those vegetables, you just, all your problems like this. And then I started to, it wasn't even forgiving it's part of forgiving parents, but I remember like, you know, my mom and my dad all knew only how to love the way they were loved. And then they had fucked up parents and they only knew how to love. It's a generational trauma.
Yeah.
And so I was like, ooh, I want to be the first one to break that. And like, I guess thank you, vegetables for like letting me see this. And then they don't know what the fuck they're doing. We're like, my mom had me like at 23. I'm like 31. She doesn't know what the fuck she was doing. And then like, yeah, stuff like that. Just looked at everything objectively. Literally no emotions. All just what it is. And then, yeah, it just like cleared up so much immediately. Versus if I never ate those vegetables, I think I would just be so caught up in that brain fog of being in that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not being able to like get the perspective.
Yeah, because that chemical imbalance, like, it's such a fog that I don't blame people for not being able to be self-aware.
Yeah.
You're just so in that fog, it's hard to unhaze that if you don't have the tools to unhaze it.
Yeah. And that like kind of what gives you, I don't know, it gives you like perspective on like why some people would be like alcoholics or like drug addicts because they just want to like turn that off.
Yeah. And I think people just have to be really blessed with either like the right friends to teach you about vegetables or even have the personality of being open and curious.
Yeah.
To even find that solution. Because if you don't have those things in you, I feel like you're just finding like the easy coping mechanisms, which is alcohol, sex, drugs and whatever. It's just such a simple way to go. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you are. I think a lot of people get into drifting. Not everybody's like, at least like when I got into drifting or when we got into drifting, it wasn't like, I don't know, it's kind of like a bad thing. It was like this is crazy and adrenaline and like street drifting sick and it was like an escape that was also kind of dangerous and it was better than the alternatives. Like that's how it was for me. Like I was like I was like a party kid and like drifting pulled me out of that big time. Like I definitely was self-medicating with some bad shit and like yeah, I think having that it just I think there's a lot of people in drifting who find it relatable because I think a lot of people are like using it as their escape and maybe it's like their healthy escape, but it's still an escape.
True. It is. But even if you heal, I guess now you just love it. So, right? Are you still like working on things and stuff? I mean, till the day we die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really talk about it on the podcast much,
right.
Yeah, I am constantly working on myself to be a better person and like work on the shit that makes me fucking not good. Like I think we all fucking have stints of it and we kind of I think if you chase drifting on like the level that we do, it definitely says something about your character because it's like I want to have that like adrenaline and feel good so bad. Like I'm going to just make the rest of my life chaotic as fuck so I can have that like one day and you put a lot of pressure on it.
Yeah. But it's really good that you have a great head on your shoulders to even say all this. You know what I mean? To even have the like awareness to even, like you're already good to go. You know what I mean?
So,
to have that already like, attitude and awareness of it. So
yeah, I think you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people in the sport that are all just trying to like make it work,
And that's why I love drifting and the community and also just anyone just in the whole motorsports scene as well. But drifting and even street racers and stuff like that and just people do that because like I feel like it comes down to they're more real about shit and also they have bigger balls and also they have this like drifting you kind of have to turn off that autopilot safety thing where like let's say like we have to like obviously gain wheel speed to like speed up towards like almost the wall and then like versus normal people normal brains would want to brake before that, right? But like it takes that personality to override that autopilot and
I think just like doing your first clutch kick like that's a big I don't know, that like everything in your brain, if you're like a responsible adult, is like, I'm gonna explode my car if I do this. Like,
but that's what I love about the scene, because it already categorizes all these people that have big balls. They're more like risk takers.
yeah,
They're more kind of crazier than generally people who are following the system of safety in the world and stuff. And then I don't know, like when I went to the psych ward, I was put at first with all the crazies. And it was like homeless people that tried to kill themselves to like this kid that like crossfaded with vegetables and the paper vegetable and the pill vegetable and like got like fucked up.
Yeah.
And then like my roommate was like dementia grandma. And I just had so much fun because they're just also real, didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They went in there doing something crazy, you know?
Yeah.
They like, I don't know. It's just respect in a different way. Because then after that, after a week, they put me in like the normal, like the less crazier people.
Yeah.
And that's where I saw everyone like kind of like side-eyeing each other, like reading the room and like kind of being all like judgmental and shit, or like it was just too much. I was just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, I want to go back up where the crazies were. Like, they were the real ones.
Yeah.
At least they like let it out and were real with themselves and just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like drifting, I think it really, I mean, it's sick. It's great people. They have balls. They similar concept. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the crazier part of the psych ward.
Yeah. Exactly.
I've never felt so attacked, but also accurately depicted.
Yeah, and they just don't give a fuck. Some people like just, and they, people like use every paycheck to build their cars and spend every dollar versus, I don't want to say normal people, but more like conservative, safe people would save up and like be very concerned about the future.
Yeah.
And like not do what like makes them happy. And like, I just recently learned, not recently, but I just on vegetables, it's just like, having anxiety about having anxiety is living in the future when the future is created by the present. And so like that diminished my anxiety. I've never had anxiety since, because like you just live your life for the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do that a lot.
When like, oh yeah, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, we're human, and versus like, I feel like a lot of drifters just don't give a fuck. They're in the present. Whatever makes me happy, this extra dollar is gonna make my car run. Like, everything's gonna work, and then the universe just naturally works itself out for everyone, kind of thing. I don't know, shit like that.
Yeah.
Love the scene.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. You know what fucking time it is. It's Tire Streets time. If you haven't tried out the 351s by now, what are you doing? It's time. Go use code Goodest for a discount on all the Tire Streets exclusives. And if you want a discount on anything else from the site, you got to go tirestreets.com/goodest or click the link in the description, because that's how they track it. It's going to get you a deal. It's going to get me a deal. And we're here to save money on tires and keep this freaking party train rolling, dude. If you didn't like the 651s, give the 351s a shot. I promise you'll enjoy them. I've been driving on them a lot. I like the 651s, but they're not everybody's cup of tea. Head on over to tirestreets.com/goodest. Get yourself some sticky boys. Tire Streets. Do you want to pull that stick and lock them so hard that your passenger has to change their pants? Well, guess what? Chase Bays. Chase Bays is the spot for you. They got all kinds of gear to help you lock that stick up and just fucking drift so hard. Do you want to have the hardest drifts you've ever had in your life? Well, call now for a free sample of Chase Bays. Use code GoodestCast for 5% off your first order of Chase Bays to make sure that you can lock it up and lock them up hard.
So being a Goodest Cast listener like yourself, your IQ must be well over 150. And with that genius IQ, you must have noticed that, hey, you're holding those Chase Bays products in your hand right now. How would you know if they make the best fluid transfer products? in all of motorsports. Well, guess what? I've had this hydraulic e-brake mounted in my car for 5 years, and it's been locking them up heavy. I got the 6-to-1 brake master cylinder, and it's the shit. Because when I come into a corner extra spicy, I know the brakes are going to work, and I don't have to lay on the floor to get them to work. And on top of that, if I'm left foot braking and I'm up in the boost, I don't have to worry about my brake booster doing weird shit. Nobody wants that. Next time you're in the market for the highest grade fluid transfer products on the planet Earth, head on over to Chase Bays and enter code Goodest Cast. Save yourself 5% like a real king.
Oh, you know what I just got over of? I used to like be in this whole like hateful about like male ego, especially like working in more like industry side of like the car industry and stuff. And obviously in the car industry, it's all males and there's a lot of ego, and there is like healthy ego, and then there's like, you know, and over the years working, like, you know, having automotive also as a job and being in industries and stuff, I would deal with a lot of male egos, but like the bad ones that, like, for example, let's say they just like, I never even met them, but when they first meet me, they try to like humble me from the get-go just to make themselves feel better because they're scared of rejection. Do you know that concept?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they say something dumb and like criticizing when like just to like humble you for no reason, thinking I was gonna come off as like some high horse bitch that so like they like were prepared. So stuff like that happens a lot, or like, you know, a lot of male and female dynamics that inevitably happen sometimes, and then let's say they get rejected because they, you know, and then there's ego there.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be really tough.
Yeah.
Because you're in like a very male-dominated world between like driving, car building, stuff that you're doing like overseas. I'm sure there's a lot of situations where you have to reject people.
Yeah, and then there was a point where I almost got really, I don't know about depressed over it, but like really, like, you know, male dominated industry, like car scene, you know, and then, I think I got over that hump recently. I just accepted that this is how society and the world is wired, and how to navigate that in a more logical way than emotionally reactive. Yeah, just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can't really put myself in your shoes there. I can't imagine what it's like to try and just exist in like something where, yeah, you gotta navigate that.
Yeah. I had a taste of it like back then when I was like 18 or 19. I was just, they're just like bitter. Like, let's say, you know, there's like street races, right? And then like, I only had my Jackson Racing single kit. Like, it was like stupid as like stuff. But like, let's say like I beat a guy, or maybe it was in my S2000. But like, let's say I beat someone, and then like, just like, this is a super minimal example, but they're just like, yeah, well, like your car's tuned, and like, yeah, like I had like 4 people in my car, and like,
yeah, there's always some
like,
excuse.
Yeah, and that was just like very like super baby level of it. And then, yeah, and then I recently experienced a bunch of boss level of that for like no reason. But I think it's one of those things where it's like that level in the game that you kind of have to, like, if you keep being caught up in the bullshit of that level, like you're just gonna get stuck there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, how do I overcome this before I become a slave to it? Or like, yeah.
Takes all the joy out of what you're doing.
Yeah. And then, yeah. Last year, I fucking never was home. And so I didn't ever had like a moment to process anything.
Yeah. You had a crazy year last year.
Dude, I flew 72 times.
Damn.
I did a flighty thing at the end of the year, and I was just like uploaded all my flights and shit, and it said 72. And then I was like, I should stay home for a bit.
Yeah.
So this trip was actually only supposed to be like a week, but I extended 2 more weeks because I saw the processing I've been doing recently.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I should do a little more.
Yeah.
I should go to like I want to go to where's that Vertex place in Phoenix?
Oh, Sedona.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I want to do a solo vegetable.
Yeah, there you go.
Bring a bunch of vegetables and go to Sedona and feel all that crazy energy they have there.
Yeah. Just fucking be like, I don't even care about drifting anymore. I'm just happy.
Imagine.
Yeah, I think you can get to a point in life where I think drifting is definitely something that like always brought me happiness. So I chased it as hard as I could. It like gave me community, it gave me validation, it gave me like, you know, like building a car is like doing art and putting your art out there. And there's just like a lot of facets that feel really good when you do them well. It's like, oh, I like got better at this entry, or I chased better, or like, oh, I got these wheels and it looks sick and everybody likes it. And, you know, there's like all that, you know, really good like external feeling like, oh, you know, I got props on my driving or whatever. And then you get to a point where you're like, all right, I made the car pretty cool and I'm like driving really well. And like, I don't know, I'm still not, I thought this would bring me like ultimate happiness. And then you kind of don't get that. And you're like, fuck, I got to figure that out. You're like, oh, it's me. I have to do it. I have to like be happy about what I'm doing. I can't like look to the outside to, you know.
That's sick though. That drifting also gives you that lessons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. You know what I'm going through recently?
Huh.
Every single one of 90% of my cars at all the competitions last year all broke like insanely and sometimes ridiculously because there's lack of it's crazy. And then my last race was in the Philippines at it was like a new FD affiliate series that they started to do for Southeast Asia. And I think I was so PTSD from all the cars breaking every single time that Rome was with me when I had like a panic moment.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because so long story short, the mayor of Philippines, actually, I was staying with him. He's like a huge race car, like
What?
yeah, like it was
He's
really
like, come stay at my house. Or
yeah,
like,
yeah. He's, Raymond, shout out to Raymond. He's super nice guy and he loves cars. He's a sick ass place. And he had like 5 drift cars, like it's like S13. He had a GT86. He had a Risto, and he had a Safiro.
what?
Yeah, I think it was a Safiro. I forget.
That's
He's like, just choose one. And then whatever, and I was like, "Ooh, the Risto," because
Yeah.
I mean, I used to be a huge fan of Bipu drifting, and then also I came from Otezas, so I was like, "Oh shit, let me drive this bigger Bolt." I just wanted to like, and then I realized I guess no one really drove that car in a while because they don't want to drift. I mean, like compete with the Risto.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah, and so yeah, I was swinging that shit. Oh my god! But anyways, long story short, I took it out on test runs and stuff, and Rome hopped in and was figuring out also what was wrong with the car sometimes, and alignment was bad and stuff. And things were good, but I remember every time I did a run, I'm like anticipating something to break, and it was fucking up my psyche like so hard that like there was a point where every single run, you know how we're towed out, right? Every lap it started towing in a mill, and every lap was not like did not feel consistent and stuff.
Toe
And
in
then
the front's fucking awful.
yeah, it was like it got to a point where I was like, Rome, dude, like something's wrong. Like I started like freaking out. I was like, is it me? Is it the car?
Yeah.
And like he was like, whoa, what's going on? And I got in the car and he's like, hey, you drive and like show like so I can feel it. I did a run and like suddenly I just didn't know how to drift. And then like he like even looked at me and I was just like suddenly panicking. He's like, sorry, I've never seen you like this. Like, and then we had to have like a deep talk of why, like peel the layers of why I like ended up like that. He's like, dude, you were like like killing it, like just, you know? And then like suddenly like Like I went like 100 to 0.
Damn.
Yeah.
You just couldn't trust it.
Yeah, I think I just over literally every single race last year. And I hope all my bad juju like that I cleared it all, but it was pretty bad last year. Yeah. I never had a good turnout in every competition. But now looking back, it was all great. I learned I had to drive like I had to my English adjust to the car because they were all broken. So that taught me a lot, and always hopping in different cars, right? And then since everything broke all the time, I learned more mechanically about stuff and how everything, the ecosystem of things and stuff. And then,
having to drive around problems. And...
yeah, like I mean, my steering pump was like one out of a million issues every single competition.
Yeah, so
that's when I started learning about EPS and like all that stuff, and like if I should, blah blah blah, and then all the nuances. And then but it was that bad where the last one, which is in December, suddenly I just like freaked out. Yeah, it was that serious where Rome was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like he was also like, whoa. And then we had to like go upstairs and like he just like tried to peel the layers. He's like, where is this coming from? Like I've never seen this before. And I'm like, I think it's from I think it's from the PTSD of every time something broke. Because last year in December, actually the last year was my first in Indonesia.
Was that your first like competition you'd have ever done?
Yeah, and to me, everything is more like seat time. But anyways, it was they just bought an Altezza. It was like somewhat drift built, but it had all season tires all around, and like the clutch was slipping. Caster on one side was like 5 off from like this is like crazy.
Yeah.
And I just had to deal with it, and it understeered into the wall. I crashed, and then I sprained my foot. But since then, because like I crashed into the wall, and then my foot bent. I was trying to like save it, but it wasn't going anywhere, so my foot was still on the clutch. And then it hit the wall in the corner, and my foot bent backwards and stared into my eyes. And then ever since then, though, I fought through. I was like, this is part of drifting. Like that was my first like full crash, and like it's just another day for everyone and whatever. But that kept almost happening for the rest of us. So imagine like at the last, like when it's toe-in problems.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Yeah,
you have a lot of pressure on you. There's a lot of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you definitely, like, I don't know. I can't imagine going and competing in another country in a car that I've never driven. That's like, that would stress me out.
Yeah.
Especially and then you get there and the car doesn't really work the way it's supposed to. Yeah, I'd be. Yeah.
So I think the last race was like my peaking, like I just couldn't handle the whole year. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then Rome was just, you just need to be okay with it, like anything broken. I'm like, I know, but I don't know. I think it just stacked up. I don't know what's going on. So I don't know. That was the last time I went drifting, actually, which was only like a month ago. But I don't know if we'll see next time if that mentality is fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. That might be a vegetable journey,
Maybe. Vegetable with drifting? Ooh.
No, that sounds awful.
Be on Rainbow Road and go-kart. And Mario Kart shit.
Somebody told me, I can't say who it was, but there was somebody who won like a BMX gold medal
on vegetables.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, I don't know the amount of vegetables that were taken, but there was like some amount, and it wasn't like a micro dose of vegetables. Yeah,
so cute.
I thought. So I've always like thought about it. I don't know. I probably shouldn't put this out there. I've thought about like, I wonder what would happen. We've actually, I can't say who I talked to about this, but we're gonna like experiment someday.
Sick. Can't wait to hear from you guys.
Yeah, could go fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or it could be really sick, But then you're like, well, I should just do this. Anyway,
on big skid pad.
Don't do vegetables and drive.
Or on a really, really, really big skid pad and someone's not on vegetables with you so they can
Yeah, they're like,
test it.
no. How'd you hit the only wall?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I can't imagine drifting in another country. That's pretty sick. I would love to do it. But also I can't imagine like trying to go there and I don't know, the pressure you'd put on yourself to like do well, and then you have a lot of like eyes on you, like you know. And then you're also dealing with like, you know, the I don't know, like female male thing where they're looking at you differently.
You have to do better than
Yeah. That's like a lot of pressure to like do well.
Yeah. So that's why I want to do vegetables, to get out of that ego, which is my ego caring about what other people think.
Yeah, I think that would help all of us.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, we know that, but yeah, it's hard.
I think some people just naturally don't care what other people think more than others. I don't really know where that comes from. I've always wondered that.
I think it's just one thing they understood out of maybe the other stuff we understand, but like that's that one thing they know, and then everything else, I don't know. Everyone's, it's not even about confidence, you know. I think sometimes confidence is a skill. In a sense, agree. Yeah, and because people can be deeply insecure but still super confident on the outside, it's a skill. And so I think that kind of confidence is like just inner wholeality, and I don't even think that's a word. They're just so self-love to the max. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People, I found the only thing that takes Grange dust off of my car. I happened to like get handed a spray bottle from my friend Sally, and it's 303 Auto Care Protect and Spray. The only thing that gets Grange dust off my car and keeps it off my interior, I know you've seen me blow off track and insert that clip of me flying off track with dust in my teeth. That stuff does not come out. All right, like I'm telling you, when you hit that dirt, your car will never be the same. And we've talked about it on the podcast before. I finally found the solution to solve it. 303 Protect and Spray. I blasted my dash with it. All the Grange dust came off. And the next time I flew off track at AVS, man, it was amazing. It didn't stick. I've been using it on my engine bay, so if I fly off track, the dust doesn't stay on there. It's really nice. They got it at all the auto parts stores. They got it on their website. And go get yourself a bottle and check it out. Trust me, I like literally hit them up to ask them if I could do this ad so that I could tell you guys about how it actually is the only thing that takes off Grange dust or AVS dust. Pro tip, go get yourself some 303 Protect and Spray and run it up.
But other than that, Southeast Asia is, you need to go out there and drift one day. It'll humble you. With Southeast Asia is the experience. Yeah, because also it's such a growing, there's a lot of drivers now in Southeast Asia. So I think they, put together all the drivers who drift, whatever level, and like, I think that's the way they want to grow the scene. So they throw them into a series and then drive. And I think I definitely have so much more to learn, especially if I want to start really competing out. Like for instance, in Japan, I want to start off with D1 lights.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, and so want to do a few events this year with that. But I think I was blessed to really get in a lot of seat time in Southeast Asia, and it's a crazy experience because, for instance, like D1 Indonesia, you got people competing with like 250 power horse versus like 600-700.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like so fun. You don't see that shit, you know? And like they would base the judging off just like seeing your line and how much you're really trying to keep up with the car that's 500 horsepower more than you, and as long as you're like trying to get close, it's just so fun. You see some crazy stuff, and there's a lot of sick drivers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to go drive out there. I feel like I could do okay.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff, they just do it differently, and a lot of things wouldn't pass here for sure. But it
It's
gives
still
you
new there.
Yeah,
Competitive drifting wise.
but I loved it. The chaos and like at the end of the day, it's just rules. It's just if it works, it works.
Yeah.
You know, you're just the car can slide. Like
you're driving.
yeah, so kind of gave me a different perspective, and I was glad to be started off like that, and like really going through the hard, lessons and stuff, and yeah, for hopefully it ties in with future things.
Yeah, I think learning to drive around like a car with issues teaches, especially driving a different car every time and then driving cars with issues. Like all that's going to make you such a better driver when it comes time to like drive something that you're used to that works, like that's going to be really nice.
Yeah, we'll see.
It'll
Maybe I
help you
stressed
level up.
myself out too much. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, any competitive drifting is always it's not for everyone, and it is a skill. Like you have to like teach yourself how to be okay with being in a competition and not doing well. Because like I didn't compete for a very long time because I couldn't handle it. I would be like pissed at myself for like making mistakes or forgetting something on the car or like whatever. And so I don't know. It sounds like you're on the right path. It's definitely hard too when you're part of like a team and
I was so excited. I mean, I was having a lot of fun the last year when I crashed. Before that, there was also a second race, which is like all the girls, all the females competing.
Sick.
And I qualified first. The car was running
Sick.
well and stuff. And then the rest of all the competitions throughout the year, I just had bad juju.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure once the car gets dialed and stuff, you'll be able to rip.
Yeah. So I after my last competition, I texted my homie DK from Garage Life, and I was just like, let's fix my FD. I want to drift for fun and like get it back,
That's a big part of it too.
Yeah.
I think just drifting for sport or just drifting for business like kills it.
Yeah.
Because like we used it as like an escape, and then once you turn it into like a job, then it's not an escape anymore. It's actually like the opposite.
Yeah. Exactly.
If I drive too many events where I feel like I like need to be doing something or need to be there and I need to do this or I'm worried about this, like it just like drains me. Then I just don't enjoy myself anymore.
Yeah. Do you do grip driving?
I did like karting when I was younger, and I did time attack when I was 19.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, but I only did like one round because I was broke, and that's all I could do.
Oh, sick.
But I actually would love to do more grip driving. I saw you got to like do a grip race, and
yeah, I was just looking back at competition. I was like, wait, there's just one, the grip one that the car didn't break. But
was that like an endurance race?
Yeah, it was a wheel-to-wheel. I want to say endurance. I guess it's a wheel-to-wheel.
It was like touring car type stuff.
Sick. It was an all-make. It was a Hyundai Avante thing. It was at the Seoul F1 track.
Oh, so
cool. It was pretty sick. I never did grip driving in my life. And when they emailed me,
they just threw you in. They're like, Sarah's got it.
When they emailed me, I like literally was like, hey guys, I'm down, but just to let you know, I have zero experience in grip driving. I've never grip drived in my entire life.
Wheel to wheel is not just grip driving. That's like fucking gnarly.
Yeah, and they were like, yeah, it's fine. It's for content. I'm like, yeah, but like I'm literally being thrown into Pro 1.
Yeah.
There was Pro 2 and Pro 1. I'm getting thrown into Pro 1, and I've also never done wheel to wheel. Like we do wheel and wheel just 1 versus 1 on drifting, but like not fucking 30 cars wheel to wheel.
Yeah.
And also zero, grip driving experience. And so they trained me for 2 days, and I just got thrown in, and it rained during competition weekend. And it was so I get it.
Yeah, it's probably fun.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, like I remember I went on a evasive, like, it was butt window or something, and like, I've been on laps before with friends, as in like I would always get like sick, nauseous, and like just like they're just going straight and fast, I guess.
Yeah.
Like sideways and shit, so fun.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, and I was like, oh, that was boring. And after that, you just like even watching it's boring. Like everyone just boom, boom, and then I
Yeah.
like didn't get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But after that, yeah, I get it.
I think an open wheel touring car race in the rain is like probably one of the most fun things I could imagine doing. Like
Yeah.
I would do that in a fucking second if someone's like, "Hey, do you want to do this race?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll fly myself there."
Yeah. I'm proud of myself. Not to, but I always there was Pro 2 and Pro 1, right? And
Yeah.
I've never fucking and eventually I still like I placed 13, but that was technically still kind of last because a lot of people crashed and stuff. But my time was better than Pro 2.
Sick.
So I was like, yay! Yeah, but I was like, I get it, it's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was like
I can't-
that. Oh wait, I meant like that feeling of beating the time.
Yeah,
That's what I understood.
yeah.
It's like, okay, I see the greediness of wanting to like
Be fast.
be fast and be better at that other time. Oh, I see why everyone does that. I'm obsessed with time and stuff.
Yeah. Wait, so we're both Pro 1 and Pro 2 like on the track at the same time?
No, it was separate.
Okay.
Yeah. But obviously Pro 1 had the higher times.
Yeah.
And like Pro 2 was like, it was like a minute 26, 36. I forget. No, it was raining. So it was like a minute 50 something average for Pro 2. And then Pro 1 was like average like 130. I forget, something around that.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was like 1 second above Pro 2, but still last from Pro 1.
That's pretty cool.
So I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. I can't imagine just getting like thrown into like open wheel racing in the rain.
Oh my God, it was all
Or-
recorded.
Yeah.
You should have seen me. My handwork was like a drifter.
Yeah. You're like throwing the wheel around.
Yeah. And they're like,
They're like,
no,
what are you doing?
you should never be like ending up like this. It should just like,
Yeah. You're like, that's all I know how to do. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, that's pretty sick email to get. What about like, okay, so
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
No,
Please.
one thing that helped like having like drifting experience for the grip driving, because when
Yeah.
it was raining, like they said, I guess like a lot of people like freak out when they like spin out. But I was like, drifting, it's like very normal. It's like just yeah. And so I was like, oh yeah, like you just go back.
They're
up.
like, oh, it's raining. Like, you might spin out. It's going to be
Yeah,
scary. You're
yeah.
like, I'm just going to fucking catch it. Like,
yeah. I think that's what helped a lot.
yeah, I think a lot of grip people don't. That's why when people go from drift to grip, they actually pick it up really quickly. Because
Oh, really? Is that
Yeah.
a thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Because you're like learning to counter steer and you're learning to like catch the car. You're learning to like, because, and if you want to be fast, you still need to be able to do things like that. You
Yeah.
need to be able to like catch like a, oversteer. You need to be able to like trail brake and like all that
Yeah.
cool stuff. So, and I think also, like you were saying before, there's that, drift people kind of have that like no fear mentality. Like you're gonna brake later and you're gonna
Yeah.
like keep on the gas like just a
Yeah.
little bit longer and it ends up being faster.
Yeah, and drifting you have to send it.
Yeah.
So like I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. They were probably like, oh shit, you like actually you didn't give
I
a
was
fuck.
just like when do I use the entry? The
Was it-
lines are similar-ish, like
Was it like a paddle shift car or was it
yeah, it was
sick?
paddle.
That's so cool.
yeah. So it was easy better to learn, I think, that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was way more fun than you just yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with the Gumball Rally when I was like a teenager.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I had the DVDs. I took my mom's car when I was 16,
Uh-huh.
LS 400, fucking first gen. Shit was beat to shit. And I took 3 of my friends and we drove from NorCal to SoCal because I saw that the Gumball Rally was happening. I didn't, and they're like, the
Really?
finish line's going to be at Rodeo Drive. I didn't know what time. I didn't know where. I just drove straight to Rodeo Drive and just parked and like waited.
Whoa.
And like 2 hours later, like everybody started showing up.
Yeah.
I was like, Tony Hawk was there. Fucking Bam showed up in the Lamborghini with Ryan Dunn. Bam Margera, the skater.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, this is a long time ago. This is like 2006 or something. And like I used to watch. That was like my dream. I was like, when I'm older, like I'm gonna fucking get rich and I'm gonna do the Gumball rally. Like that was like my lifelong goal. I think.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you like it because of the exotic side of things, or also the mix of like celebs doing it and stuff, and the whole driving?
It just looked like, I don't know. I was like really into fucking debauchery, and I really like the Takeover. Like,
what Takeover?
Takeover is like a DVD where this guy would like go around and film all like this like street racing stuff. There's a guy with like a yellow E36 M3 named Dotto who like would just do crazy shit, and, like do donuts in front of the White House and stuff. Like it's like
really?
yeah. It was like, I think probably if I think back, part of the reason I have an E36 is because of that dude. I actually hit him up and told him that. That was kind of cool. And he like responded. That was like a cool like Instagram moment for me. But
oh shit.
Yeah, that was I just liked I don't know, it's just like crazy and people breaking the rules and crazy. Driving fast, and
yeah.
I was very into that. Like way more. I found drifting like when I was like in my early teens, but like that was like my shit. I wanted to do that so bad, and then later drifting happened. But
damn, I didn't know. Sometimes I really didn't know. People were like, I don't know. Gumball's so crazy, but it's all so full blown with exotics that I thought it was just it's the same culture, but such different cultures, niche. You know what I mean? So I didn't realize till after like, wow, a lot of people knew Gumball, and even if they weren't in that industry or that side of the world, like, yeah.
Yeah. Did you get like called to do it?
Yeah. Basically, I had a homie that was working with Gumball. Well, he was like acquaintance that I shot with for Rolling Stone one time. Sick. And then he was like, yo, let me bring you on to Gumball. I was like, yeah. what is
Gumball? Sure, what's that?
And then no. And then like I've heard of it before.
Yeah.
Because I have like friends in exotics that would do like random rallies and stuff from like, SD to LA or whatever. So I would see friends like post Gumball before, but I didn't really know what it was about. And after I looked into it, I was like, oh, this sounds fun. Like you get to go to 7 countries in 1 week, and it's their 25th anniversary, and it's Southeast Asia, like on brand, like Asian, like let's go to Asia. And the only thing is that I heard drivers pay $350,000 just to register.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, right? And then, but thankfully, I was invited as guest, and the only issue I had was I needed to look for my own car, because usually all those guys just fly their cars over to every stuff. It's like, it's insane. It's just a whole nother fuck you money, like different world type shit, you know? So I was excited to experience that. But I found a homie. No. I found a homie that was down to lend me his FD. I wanted to be like the only JDM.
Yeah, that's such a sick choice too.
Yeah, I was like, I want to be the only JDM that like amongst all these exotics and shit. I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at there. Dude, I don't know
either
anything.
Anymore. Yeah,
like this is this kind of Pagani and that's Pagani, this Bugatti. Like all the Bugattis look the same to me, but like this was like the one out of like, I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, oh shit, really? So sometimes I felt like, I wish I knew so I could like at that moment like appreciate.
Yeah.
Like,
they're like, this is the SI Civic, and you're like, this is the Type R. And
Yeah,
you're like, oh, okay. Like, this is the Type R of Paganis. And you're like, okay,
NSX
got it.
Type R. I was like, oh shit, like rare, but like all the Bugattis.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't know what I was looking at. But that was honestly, not gonna lie, the craziest shit in my whole career, whatever, that I've been on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, also, they were all so nice. Of course, like maybe here and there, like, there's a rich guy but it's It was crazy. I had an insane like dopamine drop after that.
I bet.
It was
I bet.
it's ridiculous. It's insane.
Did you have like a co-driver and stuff?
Yeah, I had my whole, but like he didn't drive for shit. I drove the whole way.
Damn.
But I didn't drive the whole thing. I cheated and I flew like 3 of the countries.
Sick.
And then I got the car towed to Malaysia and I drove from Malaysia to Singapore.
Yeah, that's a fucking. I mean, it's like, it's the 3,000 because it's 3,000 miles.
Yeah, and like all those guys, all those other drivers had like 2 co-drivers.
Yeah.
But like if a homie was gonna trust me with their FD,
Yeah, you don't
you
want to just
know,
let
and then like
anybody drive.
yeah, and it was just like shit. Like I don't know if I can physically handle doing the whole week like that. I just came from all this other shit too, you know.
Yeah.
And like,
So you're taking a break from like professional drifting in Southeast Asia and then going and doing Gumball and like a borrowed FD. And...
Well, it was like back to back shit. Like it was competition to Gumball to another competition the next weekend, and like it was like
Damn.
I don't think I can drive 10 hours a day and then party and do a dinner party and another party and then drive the next morning and party and do another dinner party and party, and it was like that every day, and it it was such a high though. It's like that speaks like I love environment change. I think going to night schools kind of made that became like that, and yeah, it was Gumball is another level, and how much all the government supported Gumball and the way they just like can take over like a huge ass block and have like thousands of people just crowd. It's like such a crazy. Yeah. Met Ja Rule, met Bumby.
Sick.
Met Speed. I show Speed. There's random like then there's me that's also random, and like all these like cool people from all over the world just paid $350,000 to
go drive really fast.
I get it.
Asia.
Yeah, I get it.
If I won the lottery, that would be like one of the first things I did.
Yeah. And
I'll do it in like a fucking probably.
Yeah. At first when I heard that,
I wouldn't do an exotic. I'd just bring some fucking. I'd probably just bring my drift car. Regear it.
Yeah, exactly. This year's in Europe. Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah.
Once this podcast pops off, you know.
Hell yeah. Hey, it's it's the craziest shit I've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how they survived. I remember after that I slept for 16 hours the next night.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like partying all night and then waking up early and like doing insane speed on the highway like for like 10 hours and then partying. Yeah.
We made it on the news in Malaysia because we were all late to Singapore, so we all floored it on the shoulder lane the whole way, and all of us gumballers all on the shoulder lane cutting through all of the traffic. It was so fun and so dangerous and so crazy, and it got to a point where it went on news in Malaysia where like the prime minister or whatever was like, legal fucking gunballers are found driving on the shoulder lane. If you see any like sign, or I forget, I have the video, but like he was posting the group chat like, yo, we out here. We already made it to Singapore at that point, so it's like
you're like pissing off foreign governments.
Yeah, but then at the same time, like a different country like Cambodia, their government literally made a full Coachella stage for Gumball, and like it was like Coachella, like all the people, you don't see a empty area at all.
Damn.
Cars trying to show up through the crowd. It was like Coachella level. And Gumball's so insane.
Did it feel pretty cool like rolling up in an FD to like
Hell
these,
yeah.
giant cities and people are just like losing their mind?
Hell yeah. Because we went on the Sepang circuit, Malaysia.
What?
Yeah. And we just did like a ceremony run. So all these like exotics, you know, I mean, it was sick.
Yeah.
But like, and then there's me in the FD.
That might have been the coolest car there, honestly.
Yeah. It's, no, I mean, yes to me.
Yeah.
I heard there was crazy cars there the whole time. I didn't know which one was which.
Yeah,
but I was behind a Pagani for a while on the shoulder lane. We
Yeah.
were like going crazy, and like the wing like does this whole like flaps out and shit. I was like, yo, that's sick. I get it. Yeah, Pagani.
Yeah, fuck it. Ball out.
Yeah, so now I know how to identify what a Pagani is.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, leveling up in life.
Mm-hmm.
new bougie lifestyle.
I wish I could tell you what other crazy cars there were, but I don't know.
I don't know exotics either.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I was like, oh, it's so cool. And then like you get to an age where you're like, I'll probably never own an exotic. Like I'm just gonna nerd out on cars that I can afford.
Yeah. I feel you. What would be your like, let's say your dream house and like three dream cars?
That's tough. Like location wise or like
No, the cars in your garage.
okay.
If you could have any 3 cars. I just saw Reel, that's why they did it to 2 kids.
Huh?
The
Asked
guy
2 kids?
interviewed 2 kids. They was
They're
like
like-
at a car event. They were like gave sick answers.
Yeah.
For kids.
I'd probably want like a GT3,
Mm-hmm.
like the new ones.
Mm.
Because I drove Nikita's and I understand. I understand. The car is so
Yeah.
it's like perfect.
Yeah.
That's my baller choice.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I don't know. I'm not like a flexy kind of guy.
Mm.
I don't really like want honestly, like this is gonna sound so fucking lame, but like I love my Tundra so much, like that would be in there. And like honestly, like my drift car and probably a GT3.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, GT3 RS for sure.
Yeah.
I get it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get Porsche world purist
Yeah.
shit.
Once I drove it, I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm poor and but I understand.
I get it.
Yeah. They drive so good. And it's like I don't know, just everything's nice, whatever.
Yeah, it sounds monstrous too. And just,
Yeah.
you just get it.
Yeah. How about you? What's your top 3?
I don't know, to be honest. A full Mugen SCRX is one of them.
Sick.
But like, it's just that's gonna be so hard. Like even like the molding and stuff is like thousands of dollars now. Like that'd be like, yeah, my CR, and then probably something. I don't know. That Pagani was nice when the rear.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm with
like
it, yeah.
if I was really rich.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me with my little like super ABG bitch coming out of her Pagani with my little Pudo with my big glasses. Like that's how I want to like look sometimes and like get that stereotype. And then
I respect it.
and then there's my CRX and my I'll add on one more on my FD or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, drift cars.
Yeah, that's a good 3.
Yeah. Especially if if you're rich and you gotta have one
Yeah.
exotic car
And you're
if you can.
Gumball ready, you know? You can just,
Oh yeah. Nah, yeah. At that point, just you have money to pay and you just throw in whatever the fuck you want.
yeah. Be like, oh, I'm just gonna get a rental.
Mm-hmm. Even the details of Gumball, like everything was gumballed. Like the coconut juice that I got, like my coconut was
all
fire
branded.
stamped with
Damn.
Gumball, and like the buffet dinner, the fucking watermelon was carved into a Lambo with Gumball on it.
That's pretty sick.
I had a flag on my sticky rice with a Gumball flag. Like everything was so Gumball. Like I think after 25 years, they just know and they just, it's the sickest shit ever.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything can top that adrenaline.
Yeah.
I mean, like, of course, drifting, but like more like traveling active chaos tour like that.
Yeah, nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy year last year. Life went 0 to 100 though. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you like maintain? Because you got to be, I don't know. You like not only are you like have to be like a personality, but you also have to like, be alive enough to drive and like progress in skill and train and all that stuff. Like it's how do you keep your level head in those times?
Now I just really want to stay true to what actually sparks me excitement. So let's say if all those competitions last year didn't got me to a point where since everything broke and I lost that excitement, now I decided to be real with myself and pull out of some of them. And like let's say like next week I literally head up to Gary. I was like, let's go drifting, and that sparked me because I texted him and I was like, I want to go to, I want to go to Horse Thief and drive. Let's go drive. But yeah, I've just been now wanting to stay true to like just leaning into what actually sparks joy and not forcing anything. And for instance, like I decided to start a brand soon. So this is just a sample and stuff. And I found myself really enjoying the whole process of it. And then I've been shooting a movie. Yeah, acting. And I found that really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like now I just really want to stay to what sparks joy.
What sparked the acting passion? Like, when did you decide you wanted to do that?
I don't know. Long story short, my fortune teller told me this since I was 18 that I was gonna do acting. I never fucking believed her. She was like crazy, by the way, and that's a whole nother story for next time. And then like 2 years ago, these two guys DM'd me. I mean, I would, how like everyone and their mom wants to like create a whole documentary on drifting, and like, we've been called left to right for production and shit, right? And like, I like over the years, like people were like, "Yo, like, we think like this like drifting documentary would be cool," and then I would just like kind of be like, "Oh man, like I don't know if you guys would tell the story right or whatever," and then yeah, and so like 2 years ago, these two guys were like, "Hey, we're doing this short film. Do you want to be in it?" I was like, "Sure." Never done acting, and the story lines up with me. It was about this like suicidal like art student girl that like had body dysmorphia, and then like she drew like whatever and then blah blah blah. It was like very art, like short film, right?
Sounds very artsy.
Yeah, it was super artsy. Like if you, long story short, I did a showing party, and I had like half car friends there and half like super like my LA like fashion friends or music friends that more understand art can like so like I had some of my car friends like didn't get anything of that. They're like,
"Yo, what was that?"
Yeah, why'd you close the door like that when it was like more metaphoric and stuff like that? Or versus like, and then my art friends like, "Yo, that was dope," like I understood that scene. We're like, like, oh, why that like door closing thing meant. Just like dumb car friend, not dumb car friend's friend, like, more of like the what was that? Like Rodney, he was like, he literally was like, what the fuck? Why'd you do that? You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And so, anyways, and then fast forward to 6 months ago, that same directors, they bought out this studio called Studio 80s, five something. I don't know. They were like from Godzilla and like previous Spider-Mans or whatever. And they're like, hey, we want to do like a raw, non-Hollywood film drift movie, but it's not like really about drift. It will have it. Oh yeah, hello, you were in one of the scenes.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't ask, but yeah. And then but like also it's like part drama and stuff. I was like, if you guys make sure that you guys will let me be hands-on on making sure the car side of it is like on point, because a lot of people ask to do this whole like film shit with cars, but only if so yeah.
Yeah, that's sick though.
Yeah. And I found acting so fun. It's so fun. So I've been leaning towards that too.
I can't imagine being in any kind of like short film or really like I don't know.
I think for me, I guess I would say that I'm pretty observant person in general, with like even micro expressions to body language to like I find I love psychology, and I love like and so like, and then going through stuff and making those expressions myself, and like also when you're in like flight and fight mode, when you're in childhood, you learn to always read the room too much.
Yeah.
And so you kind of like catch a lot of things more than others.
Yeah.
And so like implying that knowledge in acting helps you. It's like a skill that other people have to learn. And I found it so fun to bring that out.
Yeah, it's like a good use of it's finding other ways to take your like, I don't know, I don't want to say like shortcomings, but like your experiences and turn them into use that as skills to do cool shit.
Yeah, and then like sometimes in Ubers, like I would lie about like, you know, when like Uber drivers like want to small talk with girls and shit, and then like they're like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, you know, aspiring to be an astronaut, and like I'm going to like a science school right now." I didn't know what the fuck I was saying, but like it's like so fun to like act, and then like you freestyle this whole story about yourself to the Uber driver that like
They just eat it up.
yeah, and
They're
then
like, whoa, I met this fucking astronaut earlier.
but yeah, and so like in acting, you get to be delusional for a second. Yeah, and I find that fun.
Sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe I would like acting.
Yeah, because you get out of your like whatever self, you know,
Yeah.
and then you just like get delusional. Acting is being delusional, really believing you're the character.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I found that really fun.
Yeah.
Like having multiple personalities, I was like, bet. Just
I never thought about it like that. That's actually pretty sick. Yeah. It's a little late for my acting career to start, but you know.
No, it's never too late. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh, I mean, she's Asian, but like other guys too, they like got Oscars at 60 and
Yeah.
yeah.
Sick. I'm gonna start going to
That's
auditions.
so fun. Yeah.
Hey guys. I'm here to read for cop number 2.
Yeah, but imagine you acting like a cop is so fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to find yourself knowing the nuances of a cop, I bet. If you actually acted like that, then it'll be your only chance to like feel like a cop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess people with like high attention to detail and like highly sensitive people would probably be really good at mimicking.
So imagine like you always wanted to walk like this.
Yeah.
But like you knew you'd look like a dumbass if you do, so you never do. But now you have that acting role as a cop, so it's your chance to walk down the street like and have that power as a cop and like be like license and registration, please.
Yeah.
It would be sick.
Yeah.
It's like a different high.
Interesting. That's cool that you're like finding more things that aren't necessarily as dangerous that bring you the same joy and escape.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm figuring it out. I guess we, you know, always change. And there's just phases in life or, you know, or ups and downs or whatever. Maybe I'll find joy. I mean, I love drifting. I mean, it's just the recent, like, last month thing I need to figure out, which I'm actually want to tap into still. I don't want to run away from that. I want to figure it out.
That's good.
Because it's easier to run away from things. So we'll find, I'll face it again and again.
Are you planning on doing like more acting stuff other than the project you're working on right now?
I hope to, if it lines up. Yeah. I'm just so bad at juggling shit right now. I don't know. I wish I could, I want to do self-tapes and shit, but I heard that takes a lot of time too, so.
Yeah. It's like another whole like world to figure out and get into. I can't imagine.
Yeah, but it's been really fun being Delulu.
I can't imagine having like that many people watch me try and pretend to be somebody else with like a camera on my face. Like there's no fucking way I would be able to pull
I mean,
that
yeah,
off.
like that's why like Johnny Depp never watches his own movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my short film, like I literally was curled up into a ball, like cringing like for 20 minutes.
You're like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah. And then there was like that short film, there was a scene where it's like a black abyss, right? And then we added a body double to be like naked. And she had like a fat ass, like super fat. So like it was like halfway through the short film. I was curled up into a ball for 10 minutes. I was like, I just can't wait to tell everyone that's not my ass. Like, you just can't, you know what I mean? Because I had to go off stage later and like, so it's the first thing I said because I care what people think. I was just like, by the way, guys, like I wish, but like that's not my ass. I just want you to let you guys know, like, well, yeah. So stupid.
Yeah.
So I get that part. Yeah. Watching yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be cool though.
Yeah, imagine, you know, you get a role of like a stripper and that's the only time like, you know, you can act like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get a Magic Mike 5. Straight to Netflix.
Imagine like you can act like a a Yakuza guy.
Yeah,
It's like your one time you can live through that. It'd be so fun.
that'd be pretty cool.
You're like when like just like
Yeah,
acting all When do you ever get a chance to do that?
never. Especially not in Japan. That would end terribly. But if it's in a movie,
Yeah.
they'd be like, who the fuck is that guy? He's like,
A white dude.
who's this
doing
6'5" white dude with slick back hair?
You're like half the butt. Like all the Japanese are like right here. Oh my god, that was
They'd be like,
racist.
that guy, watch out for that dude.
Yeah, I think this year I think we'll see. I'm going with the flow. I'll do some. Yeah. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, are you gonna do any more like racing stuff now that that door is opened?
Yeah, I definitely want to do Gumball again this year. Yeah, Europe will be crazy. I heard it's like Ibiza to Bucharest.
No idea, but it sounds sick.
Yeah, it's so sick. Yeah, Ibiza already sounds sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I love the Gumball team. They're actually so nice and fun. Yeah. The whole team. Great people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of have like one of the coolest jobs ever too.
Yeah. I think like maybe some people got into my head before Gumball. Maybe it was like them projecting or like, ego bouncing, but you're going to be a bunch of like rich fucks that like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I'll deal with that. Maybe, I don't know. Being super stirred, type.
Yeah.
So I kind of went into it like, oh, I don't know what to expect, whatever. And then like, dude, everyone was like so down to earth. Well, the ones that I met. Yeah, were so down to earth. Just so, yeah.
Well, I'll be super fucking jealous of that experience.
I hope I can go, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be cool if you got to like do that every year.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I'm like not doing any car stuff except Gumball now. I've evolved.
Crazy tour.
Yeah, I'm so jealous. I'm so fucking jealous.
I'm sorry.
I can't wait. I'm gonna make it happen someday. If they even have it by then.
Oh yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like fucking outer space Gumball.
Yeah. September.
Sick. I'll start saving.
Yeah. I feel like if you just sell everything.
I have 3,500. What will that get me? Like, you can come to one of the parties, maybe.
Dude, CoroWorks. What does it mean? I have no idea still. But I can tell you one thing. It's a great place to outfit your car, your drift car, your parents' car. You want to put dubs on it? I don't know if they can help you, but they definitely can get some 20-inch Japanese wheels. CoroWorks can get you anything you want for the right price. Greg will get you whatever you want. So head on over there, get yourself sick Aero, get them to import you some stuff. One-stop shop from street style to pro cars. CoroWorks got you covered. And if you want a discount on their house-made products from CoroWorks, it's code GoodestBoy at checkout on their site. It'll get you merch. It'll get you engine bay dress-up parts. I got them. They're sending me a care package for the Japan car. I'm super hyped. It's going to look sick. And yeah, appreciate you guys. CoroWorks, they're the boys. Go spend some money.
Have you watched the document on Netflix? It's called Amazing Beautiful Fungi or Fungi or I'm not saying it right. Amazing Fungi?
Yeah,
What was it? Amazing
I don't know what it's called, but I know
Also,
what you're
how do you
talking
say it? Fungi.
Fungi. Yeah, like fun guy.
Yeah.
Okay, we're really fun.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my starting point of like really getting hardcore into like herb stuff. Like in the mornings I take lion's mane, turkey tail, and all that stuff. Like you want to try. Maybe I was like
Non-trippy vegetables.
Yeah, non-trippy vegetables, chaga, and then those actually help rewire those dopamine stuff. And then sadly though, we do still have damaged nerves. So like that's how much it takes to rewire, and you gotta like work out harder than others to keep those levels maintained, because once it drops, you're back into those 50 tabs open of like self-hate and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to though. I know what you mean. It's hard to sometimes separate yourself from the thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a lot more people deal with it than I think a lot of people deal with it. And it's like becoming more and more common, and like social media makes it hard because it's like, oh, you're having like kind of a day, but then like you see some shit or people are like out there like living their best life, and you're like, oh, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not doing, and then it's like really easy to open up that door.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because like now I have this thing where if I'm gonna post something on social media, I'm like, do I want to post this because I feel like it's kind of flexy and I might be making somebody else feel bad about what they don't have.
Good stuff, yeah.
You know, because it's like, well,
that.
yeah, it's not. I don't know. It's this weird like
I know what you mean.
predicament where we're constantly like you want to do it because it feels good, but then like, you know, I don't know.
We're our slave to our own like criticism with ourselves and stuff.
Yeah.
And judgment. Yeah. I had that problem sometimes with social media too, because it's so hard. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but like then I started again. I was like, actually, I don't even care about it. I mean, I care, but like we have ADD. Like after that 1 second I saw that post, I'm on the 50 other people's one and never really cared really about every post. And I was like, oh shit, that's probably like my post too. Like it's not that serious.
Yeah.
People will forget. And also like if I cared about opinion, I was like, well, if they die tomorrow, that opinion didn't matter. Or like disappears. So I was like, I try to, still working on it.
Yeah.
I try to remind myself that every day. Like today was a very huge step. Actually, me and James, do you remember James Kronsack? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's Septem's friend, but we did an acting reel today. I've never posted something like that because I don't know. 1 year ago, me would be like, oh, that's so fucking cringe and corny. But like, it was basically like, he was teaching me how to drive manual. So I was like in my S2000 and he's like, okay, so like, the right pedal is go, the brake, the middle pedal is stop. And I went, uh-huh. And then the clutch and the left pedal is the clutch. And I was like, so what happens if you press like all of them at once? And it's a video of when I press it all at once, it screenshots the car. And so like I posted that reel today. And me and him were both like, oh fuck, are we doing this? We're gonna post it. I was like, I'm doing it, I'm posting it. And then I was like, oh yay, I overcome somewhat about caring if people thought this was going to be cringe or not. But I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, if they die tomorrow, all of them die tomorrow. All of them fucking doesn't matter. And there's 1,000 other people judging them too. And everyone's just, no one gives a fuck. I was like, fuck, okay, remind myself that. And I posted it. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still thinking about like, I don't know, are you good now that you've done that, are you going to do other shit like that? Or are you like
testing the waters?
Yeah.
It was funny though. I think it was funny.
It is fun. It's a funny premise.
Yeah, but I think 1 year ago me would have been too cool about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I realized actually like
no one really
I got here because I did those risks, you know, and then like then I was like, okay, you gotta kind of put yourself out there and not give a fuck, and that's where yeah. So I was like, okay. I think, yeah, it's just,
yeah,
you're your worst enemy if you keep, caring, which is super hard not to, but
yeah,
it's a process till we die.
Yeah. Hopefully
not.
I'm sure this has changed in past years, but what's your definition of success?
My definition of success, I think if I have 3 solid, good, closest friends that I could completely trust, and extremely, or at least like being aware and actively trying to work on myself and love myself. That's already a huge blessing that a lot of people I don't think have and are capable to, sadly. And doing what you love, no matter, I think all this like whole number one, being number one or being the best and stuff, that's all ego chase. But as long as you're doing anything that sparks positive energy and vibrations in you, like, and you're blessed to even do that and have like solid people around you, that's already like success. And why I say that is because recently, a year ago, I was dating a person that was, I would say, an A-lister. And after dating him, I realized like, wow, a lot of people would dream to be in his shoes, but if they were really in it, it's nothing how they would, like imagined and would not want to. So then I realized like, oh shit, that meaning of like wanting to be the best at this and having this much followers or this much fans and, being known or like killing it in whatever scene and all of that. Yeah, it comes with when you chase your egos too much for all those like status, especially as a guy, usually men, they start off with like normal ego, which is wanting to protect, provide. So which means making income, getting bigger and whatever. And then when you go too deep in it, it's like slightly a narcissistic route when you keep chasing status and stuff like that. But that's where that guy went. And yeah, I realized that he was like completely the most depressed, like empty. Yeah. But so much people would die to be in his shoes.
Interesting.
And yeah, that's when I realized like, damn, that's not success at all. Yeah. Everyone was yes mans. No, he would never see this podcast. So I think like he's in Asia. Yeah. Like, so, unless he like, when I post it, he like, but yeah. But, yeah, it opened a lot it opened my eyes a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you don't have money, it's easy to think money would solve all your problems, and status is like one of those things that I think people want.
Yeah.
I think
it's all ego though.
Yeah.
Needing validation and stuff from.
Yeah.
And then once you have it, that's why a lot of people like commit suicide and shit. Like there's a thing called like Olympians, I forget what it's called, gold something. And after they like win all these gold medals, like a lot of them commit suicide because
what's left?
They revolve their happiness on winning. And then they realize like they feel so empty after. Yeah. And then like they just go into deep depression. And then so then in that relationship made me realize like, oh shit, my 16-year-old self, like you were saying, it was my dream, more than my dream to like live how I'm living now. So I'm already living my dream, and anything more than this is already a blessing. So I try to like keep that mentality so I don't get so jaded and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I can't imagine. I don't think I would ever want to be famous on that level. I don't think I can handle it.
But a lot of people do, and a lot of people chase it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even money-wise, like not even fame-wise, like to be like the richest. And it obviously takes a certain type of process to get there.
Yeah.
And it's not what everyone, like if people were put in that situation for a year.
They couldn't handle it.
Yeah. No. Because what comes with it, you're giving up a lot of stuff. Yeah. And also we're blessed to even have time to like make connections, spend time and talk with your loved ones at night or hang out and do things and build that. Most of them don't even know what that means and like what a real like friendship or relationship looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's actually sad.
Yeah.
So now when I have free time, I try to catch myself every time I feel like I need to be doing something and like work hard. I try to like kill that feeling and time, like call my mom or call a friend so that I'm not so caught up in this just like ADD hustle mode.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure.
yeah.
Always needing something to do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard, but it's not the dream, guys, to yeah, life's pretty fair with things and yeah.
So if you got 3 really close friends and you get to drift sometimes and you got a roof over your head, you're actually pretty lucky.
And a really like sweet, obedient dog.
Yeah.
And like the fact that you even have time and energy to even care for it, I think is such a blessing. Like for like dogs are like animals are amazing.
Yeah.
You know why neurodivergent people love animals so much?
Why?
It's because they're more trustable than humans, so that's why we're more open to them. We don't need to read them.
Interesting.
Like they're like an open book.
Yeah, they're not hiding anything.
So it already gives us our stimulations are not needing to be, no, the wrong word, are like reading energy and stuff is not.
You don't have to be hypervigilant.
Yeah, we're like
pets.
calm. Exactly. Yeah, that's the term. Yeah.
Yeah. Loki just tells us what he needs. Well, actually, he doesn't tell us what he needs. He just tells us he needs something, and then we have to guess.
Yeah, and then when they lick you and hug you, you really straight up know it's like out of love versus like human. Sometimes you're like, what do you want from me? What is this intentions? What's the underlying like reason? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is this real? Is this fake? What is like?
Yeah. I deal with that too. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Yeah. I like have a hard time. I don't know if I should leave any of this in. I definitely have a hard time with like turning off hypervigilance and trying not to like read people too much.
Yeah.
Like not everyone's a threat, but it is like a pretty good early warning system on people I don't want to spend time with.
Yeah. You know what? I still have the same problem too. Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work right too. Sometimes you're like, that's bad. That person. And then you're like, actually, like, might have misjudged that one.
Yeah, wait, actually, yeah. I had that a few times.
Yeah. But most of the time.
Now I get confused with like my woman instincts because, you know, we have like really usually good women have more higher instincts than people. I mean, men. But also I get confused if it's my woman instincts or it's my sussed out side.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's been hard to differentiate. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Differentiate.
Differentiate that. Guys, I swear, I'm not FOB. It's like my Hawaii lack of English education. My teacher spoke Pidgin in class.
Do they speak Pidgin?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Did you learn Pidgin from anyone, Toshi?
No. I don't know. Yeah, it's so interesting to me. I can't follow it. Like I can follow like actually that's not true. I'm pretty good at like understanding what people are saying. Like I can get context if I'm talking to somebody pretty well. Like even if there's like weird words in there and shit. But yeah, Pidgin. Like I can like parrot a lot of things. Like I can like copy a lot of things, but like Pidgin, I cannot do it.
Yeah, it's just broken English mixed with Asian, and Hawaiian, all added once.
Yeah.
I love Pidgin though.
Yeah, would you ever go back to Hawaii?
To live?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I really wanted to stay in America and I want to have kids, the only American state I would have my kids at is Hawaii.
Why is that?
No school shootings.
That's fair.
And safe to walk around still.
Yeah.
And it has that aloha spirit and culture. Maybe I'm being biased as well with the outside part, but like I think Hawaii people are amazing. Because it is a kind of a small town thing. And so a lot of people like, for instance, in Hawaii, we would just ask each other, even when I'm at this age and I go back home like, oh, what high school you went to? Versus, and then when I come to a big city, like, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like little nuances like that. I wish my kid would grow up in that setting.
Mm.
And like more family and love and aloha
Yeah.
oriented, wired into it. I mean, the baby. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's community.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think if I were to have kids, I'd want them to grow up somewhere with community.
Yeah. Not in Tarzan, like jungle Tarzan.
No, I definitely would not want to raise kids here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Asia is the new, I think, not, I mean, we won't get political, but I don't think America's an American dream anymore. I think Asia's popping now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so popping.
Damn.
It's popping.
Based on like.
Based on safety, based on now everything's like getting gentrified and like there's international people everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to really speak that language. Yeah, Bangkok's great. Like I go to a bar and club in Bangkok and like you just meet everyone from everywhere around the country. Yeah. It's not like just all Thai or like, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, yeah. Japan already, you know. Are you doing Final Bout?
I drove it last year.
Mm-hmm.
I usually do like the commentary. So I go to like every round usually with Simba.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to the Japan one?
They tried to get because I have that car over there. They tried to get me to do it, but it's too soon, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanna go one day. I've never been to a Final Bout.
You should. You'd like it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I would love to.
You should go to like the main one though.
Which one's the main one?
Just go to the one that's in like Wisconsin. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's in this like weird town that has like a county fair during Final Bout usually.
That's sick.
And it's like it's just like a small town in Wisconsin. And then they like have this big international drift event.
Yeah.
I feel like the Japan one would be pretty cool too.
Oh, hell yeah.
I would love to do that.
I'll make a team one day.
Yeah. Should bring a car. Sure. Simba would let you drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is either going to be the most relatable or unrelatable podcast I've ever done.
Literally.
I don't know. We just got to enjoy every day.
Yeah.
We actually have like pretty cool lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Hell yeah. Dude, drifting is actually like pretty niche.
Yeah.
I feel like since like we've been in it for so many years, it just becomes our world. So we don't, sometimes we forget, right? Do you ever forget like, oh shit, like it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like outside from like car friends, right? Like when I tap into like other friends and they're like, yo, that's so cool. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's like super cool. I'm like, yeah. Like, I don't realize sometimes.
Like I just do it. I don't know.
Yeah. Like to all of us, it's just like whatever. But like outside of, I'm sure you meet a lot of non-car friends, and it's like, yo, it's so fucking. You know, I'm like, that's right. Yeah, it's fucking. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sick.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. I think especially with like the music videos and stuff, and like people being like, now that it's like this cool thing, it's like it was like a weird subculture that people didn't know about, and then they're like, oh, like that one Fast and Furious movie, and they thought that that's like all it was, and then like now that people are getting to see like different versions of it.
Yeah. Do you feel like that whole wave? So you know how like past 2 years it's been a huge hype of like production wanting like a bunch of JDM cars, and almost every single music video had like. Have you seen that Sam Smith EDM video with the drifting? It's like, anyways, it just got that absurd.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that wave is now slowly dying.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it because our cars are not getting used anymore?
And
we're overused. No, I think the wave's dying.
I think it's like, that was cool for a minute, and then like everyone's like, okay, everyone's done it now. Like,
yeah.
I think for like a while they're like, oh, that's like the cool thing. Like, also it like gets a lot of eyes on the video, and now people are just like, been there. Like, what do you think is next? Well,
I think now it's just gonna stay cool, but now I feel like it's getting more unexpected things. Like now like Japan is now having takeovers.
Yeah, that's
Did you see that?
crazy.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, is it like Hellcats and shit?
No, but like now they're doing donuts in the middle of like Shibuya and shit.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like more of like the Japan takeovers,
Yeah.
like no one's dying and shit yet, or
Yeah.
you know, cars being blown up. But like,
Yeah. Well,
I just saw recently my reels now were changing into like people doing takeover stuff in Japan.
whoa.
I was like, oh no, I didn't think it'd get to that too. It's like interesting.
Yeah, what, like, are they like Sylvias and stuff? Or
Yeah.
Is it, what?
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're not even like, you know,
Hellcats.
yeah. And like,
G35s. Yeah.
VQ gangs and shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think it's like, I think it's like new car enthusiasts that
Yeah.
just got in during the hype, because of the hype.
Yeah.
And then the only history and context they kind of have was like during the wave, the hype. So it's like takeovers and seeing that on reels and everyone like, you know. And so I think that's kind of all they know,
Yeah.
maybe purely too, and not, you know. And then they started doing that in the middle of Shibuya. Yeah.
That's wild.
Mhm. And then, yeah, I was like, oh no, it got even to that point.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. I guess it's just part of life.
Yeah, the
How things-
evolution of our sport is getting
Yeah.
pretty weird.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. I can't believe that. Wait, so
Have you never came across those
No.
reels?
no, there's okay. So there's like Sylvia's doing sideshow shit in
Mhm.
Shibuya, like in the big intersection. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and also on the side near like the side of the big intersection as well.
Damn.
Yeah. Not in the middle. I haven't seen the middle one, but right next to it.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
like this is like a thing that's now gonna.
I've seen a handful of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, and you see Japanese people just like also recording, but they're not like the takeover crowd. But it's just it's
Yeah.
a Japanese version of like kind of takeovers where
That's
they're just
so wild.
doing donuts and like in Shibuya, and I was like, oh no, yeah. There's a whole crazy thing going in Japan too. Like now all the JDM tours and all like, it's interesting how the wave hit different countries in different ways.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like America, of course, got really America about it.
Yeah.
The most American way.
Yeah.
And then Japan is doing it with a mix of international Japan people doing it. And yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it well.
I think that it's a lot easier to do donuts in an intersection than go rent a racetrack.
Yeah, dude, you know.
And so I think a lot of people really like drifting, but like that's like the accessible version.
Yeah.
And it's also a lot easier to do donuts in an intersection than like link a bunch of corners.
Yeah. Now I hate when like I like hate being that person now in conversations, but like when they're like, yeah, you know, like non-car friends are like, oh yeah, like who's drifting? I was like, oh yeah, what was he doing? He's like, yeah, donuts. And like I'm like, donuts isn't drifting. Like I become that person. I'm like, donuts isn't drifting. Drifting is when you connect, you know, like two drifts. And like that's drifting. And I start getting all like trying to save the whole thing. I'm like, because drifting, like, I mean, like donuts, like.
Yeah, you had to learn how to do donuts and then level up to drifting. Like you know how much harder it is to do one than the other.
Yeah. And then I hate when my non-car friends, like, they see a takeover happening in like K-Town or like some streets, right? And then they tag me. They're like, yo, Sarah, you're people.
You're like, no.
No. Yeah. It's such a double-edged sword though. Like it gave a lot of exposure to the whole industry and scene for sure. Wrong and, you know, good and bad ways. And I think that just comes with exposure. So I hope, now that the wave is dying and stuff, everyone can slowly start like retoning that, that we're not all one. It's like music, you know. There's music, but there's EDM, R&B, like hip hop, and alternative, like there's niche, there's blank, there's branches from those blank umbrellas, and then like just like we're not just all one just because a guy with a car that did donuts in the middle of the street hit someone doesn't mean the rest of the car enthusiasts will also be the same way. Like, I don't know how to explain it better, more simpler to the general audience, but yeah, it sometimes sucks that we're all put into one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't like being put in that category. That's really annoying.
Yeah.
Now, because you tell people you drift, and they're like, and then you have to be like, but I don't do donuts at intersections and hit people. Like, I go to racetracks, and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's hard for general audience to also like decipher. Like, is that the right word?
Yep.
Between like a nicely modified car to a modified VQ car. Like that's in the you know what I mean? Like long I think they just see wheels and like it lowered and they're like they're car enthusiasts. Like everyone's just car enthusiasts and they're just all the same car enthusiasts.
I mean that like up garage opening, they just treated it like it was going to be a sideshow.
Really?
That's why they were like cracking down so much because
right in that cops wise. It's such a touchy subject.
It is. I just hope it goes away.
Or I hope people
can tell the difference.
Slowly can tell the difference. And I guess for us, it's just easy to decipher, maybe. Yeah. And I sometimes don't realize how much it's that hard for general audience outside of current scene to really see any difference.
Yeah, the motions look very similar.
Yeah, and the looks, I guess, and yeah, I guess it's really hard to. I guess people usually just see cars as car. I don't know.
Yeah, and then
that's a
people
pink car.
Seeing...
That's a yellow car. That's a Honda car. That's a Nissan car. Like, but sometimes they can't. They're just car.
Yeah.
Car, truck, bike. You know what I mean? So it just all looks the same. So I guess that I don't know.
I don't know. It was brown. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So whatever. I guess
that was a Nissan Sentra.
Yeah.
What do you mean a brown car?
Yeah, and I guess we're just used to knowing more specifics, but
yeah, I learned that one as a car audio installer.
What?
Because people would they would call up and I'd be like, okay, what kind of? They're like, oh, can you do a stereo today? I'd be like, what kind of car do you have? I'd be like, oh, it's brown. Like, hey man, you're gonna have to be a little more specific. Like, I don't care what color your car is. Like, I need to know like who makes it and like what year it was made. Yeah, I learned that people, even if they're gonna modify their car, like put a stereo in it or something, like they may not even fucking know what their year is, like, or anything. So like expecting somebody who doesn't know the difference between a Nissan and a Chevy, like, definitely isn't going to be able to tell the difference between like drifting and like a sideshow.
My mom came to the auto salon with me.
Oh, it's sick.
And then we were at the ASM booth, right? She's like, people watching. She's like, it's so interesting that people like just stand in front of cars and just stare at it like so interestingly. I was like what like goes through their heads? I was just like, oh, I forgot.
They're looking at the details, yeah.
Like, mom, like I didn't know how to like explain it non-technically, so I was just like, this is a very cool car. It's like this car is the same as my yellow one, but it looks different because it's like different clothing.
That's a great way to
explain. And it's rare clothing and it's expensive clothing.
Yes.
And everyone has different styles, so you can dress up like, there's a lot of different types of designers. And it's just a rare designer with a rare piece but same car, but cool car. So everyone comes to the show to like, I don't know, I forgot what it is. Something like that.
No, that's a great analogy.
To like, my mom. She's like, oh, I see. And then she's like, everyone's
Get
just
me out of
staring.
here.
She's like, she came to a car meet too. Yeah, it was pretty cute. Yeah.
What'd she think?
I guess it's like not normal in Japan. Like, you know how like us, we can bring our moms to the track or like, there's people who do that or, You're like,
Yeah. No, my mom's come to the track.
okay. I thought you were gonna make a dark joke. I don't know why. And then or like someone like, it's normal, but I guess in like at my meet, like I was introducing my mom to my Japanese friend. They're like, "Why is she here?" You know what I mean? Like,
why'd you bring her to this illegal underground?
They're like, "Mom." Versus like at the track, or like in America, if I throw me and my mom's, they're like, "Oh, hi, like nice to meet you." Like, oh, that's dope. That's just it.
Yeah.
But Japan, whoa. Like their fuckboy side, like just disappeared. It was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." It's so funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Boys.
I don't think I'd bring my mom to Tokyo Auto Salon.
I think
she'd be hyped though, probably. But
it's a lot of walking though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, ADD people, like I bet you can't do festivals and shit. Can you? I can't. It's way overstimulating.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy them as much. I did them for a bit though. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like realizing as I get older that I don't necessarily like big crowds. I think I thought I liked them when I was younger, but I would just drink. So
yeah.
now I'm like, I don't know if I like crowds.
Yeah. It's overstimulating.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm just old and I don't want to fucking be around people anymore.
Maybe true.
Back in my day, I used to go to music festivals.
Maybe that's us with the new generation of how things are going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to be in a big crowd.
Maybe it's a new era. It's like all the purists back then, all the OG like older, car guides are like when Stan stays like camber fucking, was a thing, like crazy camber. They're like fucking dumbass. But like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Like, what are you doing? Why would you ruin your
at that phase, like Stance Nation.
Hell yeah.
yeah. And like to us, it's like, yeah.
That was the coolest shit there was.
But to them, it was like fucking whack.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like, why would you ruin it? Yeah. Stance was just like, they made cars slower and like less dangerous. Well, no, you would just scrape the bottom of your car. You wouldn't like scrape people's fucking femurs,
Yeah. I put LM5s on my CR. At a point, it's like plus 10.5. It's so ridiculous. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a bunch of fucking...
Yeah?
Yeah. I had so much camber on my
Which
S13.
one? Oh.
Yeah. It was cool, though.
How much, though?
It wasn't crazy. I don't know. I only did like... There was like 6 in the rear and like almost 10 up front.
In your LS?
No, on my on my S13.
S13.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know the wheelbase. Yeah.
That's a lot. It's good times though.
Actually, like the ridiculous ones, like when they're literally on just like one like
yeah
and stuff. I was like, you know what? They have balls.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like I actually like those type of people. Like when I see crazy shit, and people are all talking like, "Why the fuck would you?" It's like, at least they didn't give a fuck.
I mean, all the ones in Japan were done so well.
I know. Stand stays were fun, dude. I got so much hate by it. It was when S2KI was still around, like the forum days, right? And like, cause I had a CR, and you know how Honda purists can be, right?
Yeah.
When I put LM5s on my CR and I rolled my fenders, they like
lost their mind.
Yeah, of course I became that dumb bitch, the wrong CR owner,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, look at this fucking kid.
Yeah, because I rolled my rears too, so like that already,
I mean, yeah, I got a lot of hate on forums growing up.
Oh, you got forum hate too.
I think it's just part of growing up in the car community. Getting roasted on forums is like part of it's like coming of age. Yeah. You like do something stupid.
How old are you?
35.
Okay, yeah, I'm like 4 years younger, but yeah, fuck, guys, we're getting old.
Yep. So we're just gonna have to.
No, we're still young.
Yeah, we're young. We just have to eat some vegetables and fucking. We're gonna eat some vegetables. Everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah, on vegetables, time is fake. It's all just energy.
That's true.
Yeah, aliens are this year is gonna be crazy. aliens are real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like actually
Everything.
confirmed?
Oh yeah, the like before even the plasmoid shit. You heard about that too, right?
No, what's that?
Oh my god, they saw plasma like literally last month. It was crazy news. It was on news, and they had a Pentagon meeting and everything, and Trump went on live. I don't know why they didn't show it to the mass, like, but it wasn't even AI. Like Trump literally was like, "Yeah, those are like, like plasmoids," and like, yeah, it was like, but I don't know why they didn't. I don't know why you didn't see it.
Huh.
Some people, I saw some of my friends post about it though, but like New Jersey, Arizona, Cali, Vegas, of course, and stuff. There's like, have you heard about the drone stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like basically like a lot of military drones are scoping out the plasmoids.
What are plasmoids?
Plasmoids is like different consciousness that it just like in the sky though, it looks different to us because we're on different frequencies, like radio tunes. So like we see it differently and they probably see us differently. But to us, it looked like a ball of like energy.
Weird.
Yeah. And it has consciousness and stuff, but like, yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna be cool?
I'm sure some are not, but I think majority are. Yeah. I think they're like slowly just trying to be like, hey, we're around, we have brains. Like,
yeah, we can help you.
Easy in, yeah.
You're gonna fucking ruin this planet.
Yeah. I want to deep dives on those shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, like aliens are real. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. I went to Egypt for 3 weeks by myself because I was like such an alien freak.
Really?
Yeah, like last year of COVID. It was sick.
Just to go see the pyramids and
Well, I went
alien
through
shit?
like a 7-year breakup, and then I was like, oh my god, I need to find myself again or find my like somehow find a stepping stone of like making sure like gaining back the feeling of like I got myself. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do a solo trip I was like, where should I go? And then I saw like a business flight that was like so fucking cheap to Egypt because Egypt's like 36 something hours.
Damn.
Yeah, so like you have to fly to London. I mean Paris, and then from Paris you fly to Egypt. And then that's like 16 hours. So like fuck that, I can't do like, I mean, economy.
Yeah.
Then might as well go somewhere else for economy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like just to see. I was like, I wonder how much business, and it was only like 1,600. So I was like, oh shit, bet. And then like I did a whole research on Egypt, and I was like, I want to fucking go to Egypt. It was like aliens everywhere, pyramid. It was like I'm that bitch that's like, they did not hand build that pyramid and like deep dive on like, how all the pyramids are like exact longitude, latitude of like so many energetic fields and shit and insane stuff. And so yeah, Egypt's the spot. And then yeah, it's the best thing I ever did.
Why is that? Just like super healing or?
Because like I like researched everything on my own, and then like it's just not something where you just like rent a car and like you just go on your own. You can't do that. You have to like go through a travel agency, kind of like going to North Korea.
Oh, interesting.
And then because there's border points everywhere, and like people like easily jack you and stuff. And so yeah, I basically had like an Egyptologist, a driver, and a tour guide. And they were basically like my 3 bodyguards, but not really, like men around me. And then through a solid agency, and then that's how you go. Yeah. And so, yeah, they set up a whole like 10-day itinerary for me. Oh, no, yeah, 2-3 weeks itinerary, and it was sick. So cheap. It was like COVID time. So like 5-star hotels, Nile River, Pyramid of Giza view, everything $40 a night.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was like, and then like no one was there. Probably the only time like all my photos, I didn't even Photoshop anyone else. There was like no one. And usually it's like swarmed with people at the Giza and like, and stuff like that. So
you're like a personal tour of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, it was so sick. I was like at the Pyramid of Giza. I was like, aliens. I was like,
where are you?
And my tour guide like hated me for always bringing up aliens. He's like, he thought it was like not respecting all his like Egyptians building like the thing so high. I'm like, you're naive. I was like, you're brainwashed.
He's like, my great great grandfather built these pyramids, and you're like, it was the aliens.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
You guys should go.
To Egypt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you can walk a lot and still have energy. Because Egypt's definitely where you still need stamina.
Yeah, it's probably hot too, huh?
It's so fucking hot. Holy shit. It was like 115 one time. I was like, oh my God. And it was the first time like I felt that whole like there was like a bunch of Egyptians never seen an Asian girl. So they'd be like, can we take a photo of you? And then when I did the peace sign, they're all giggling and they like copy the peace sign. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah. Famous in Egypt for a day.
Because I'm not because it's just any, it's because I'm an Asian girl.
Yeah.
They've never seen me before. It's so cool. They're like staring at my face. The first time this is an interesting feeling. Get it?
Yeah, I can't imagine what that feels like.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been anywhere where people are like, oh my God.
Oh, white guy.
Oh, white guy. That's crazy.
Maybe like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. We've been everywhere. All right. Aliens, vegetables. I almost said it.
Yeah, this podcast was like 10% cars. Nah, never mind.
Yeah. It was pretty AD.
Yeah, it's pretty 50-50, I think.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to talk about Kanjo loop stuff? Can you talk about that or no?
Yeah, it depends on like, yeah, well, what do you want to know or ask?
So I keep, every time you go to Japan and like, I think like Seb was with you guys last time and stuff, you guys actually get to like meet up with like No Good and all the fucking.
Yeah, they're all good friends. Well, me and Joey, so you know Joey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew Joey for about 12, 13 years. And I actually knew Yasu before Joey, during Osaka times. And
Oh
then,
shit! So you met them like back then?
No, I met Yasu first and then Joey. But my point was with that was like, Joey's one of my like, one of my closest male best friends. Like aside from my little bro, but yeah. And then my first experience was 9 years ago. It was with Kanjo King, Ruji, me, Joey, because Yasu's like, you know, homies with all of them. So I actually hopped in Ruji's car, and that was my first Kanjo experience. And it was crazy. Yeah, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like what I was kind of like, it's like extreme level of street racing, but, you know.
It's one of the coolest things, I think, like in car culture, like in the world.
Yeah, and I just love crazy people. You know, it's just so real.
Yeah.
No filter, no... You know, they're like, don't try to act like any other way and it's just so raw. They don't give a fuck. Like the best, you know? And I just feel always like oddly safe around those kind of people. You're sussing people out gets turned off because they're just like insane. So you're like, oh, okay.
They're not hiding anything.
Yeah. So I guess like like to gravitate more. But yeah, when I was in Ruji's car, like, when he was warming up the tires, like he just like after warming up, we all went for it, right? Like going through toll roads and stuff and whatever. And like there's a point where he was just screaming the whole way out of like adrenaline, like a madman. I was like, yeah, oh shit. Like, oh shit. There's points too where like usually I was like used to kind of stuff, but like I was like, oh shit, like he was like to the truck and like you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And he's going really crazy right now, screaming. So I don't know, just and it's super fun. And then his it's on Joy's one of his vlogs like 8-9 years ago. And then from there and then on, like I think we always hung out. Yeah, and then I met Seb them, I would say when Seb moved.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Seb were Insta friends for over also years, and I've never met him before till he moved to LA, and I met him at race service, and then ever since then, like we all got really close, And then I think 2 years ago, like I know they like loved. I love Septem, so like when I know they loved Kanjo, so I was like, yo, like come
out.
through. Yeah. And then yeah, I remember they yeah, they had a fucking blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they came home and all built cars, so I think that says something.
Yeah. And like now the new I mean his name's Ruji as well. So sweet. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a girl, so like dynamic is different. But like they're like he's like big scary looking guy, but it's like a teddy bear to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're like so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love that. And I also low-key long time ago have this like fantasy of like, oh, I wish in another life I was like a Yakuza's like girlfriend. Like yeah, the head like Yakuza's like son's girlfriend. It's such a sick life. It's so dangerous and shit.
Yeah.
So like a taste of like somewhat close to that of being around like, you know, similar areas, people in that sense. And yeah, it's different high. Also knowing that they just grew up like that and like that's just their community as well and that's all they know. And then they have a lot of street smart, which I love street smart people because they usually have like high morality and like integrity about things because if you don't, then you just get fucked. And so like, yeah, I don't know. And then the whole like street racing stuff and then Kanjo's a different thing and yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I didn't realize it till I didn't know it was like a whole thing. Yeah, naively when I was like 9 years ago, Joey was just like, yo, let's like, you know, meet up
Go
with my
check
friends.
this out.
Yeah, and just hop in with him. It's like, you know, I was like, oh shit, like Hawaii, like car cruise days, like just like a street race. And then I started learning the whole like Kanjo history and stuff like that. And yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, I don't know a ton about the history, but it's always been really interesting.
And I love it because in Hawaii, like in car cruises, we had a bunch of different teams. So like I was in VPR, there's like Chapter Elusive, there's like Team Showcase, there's like Speed Zone, and we all had these like team names, right? So in Kanjo, you know, there's Tempo Racing, there's Warp, there's like No Good, there's like, you know, and it's like I love that. And I was like, yeah, like adults still like, you know, it's like Hogwarts. It's like Gryffindor and Slytherin and like, you know what I mean? It's like old like gangster, like just we're all like fully grown adults still like having these like like team names and shit. I thought it was adorable. I don't know because it was a girl or not. I think adorable is the wrong name. Maybe I should stop using those type of words, but it was cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They have team names and stuff and it's a whole thing and shit and because like you know what I mean, right? Like technically people don't really need team names and you just like drive the freeway and be crazy.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where everyone's like, yeah, let's do this click thing and like
yeah, we can
just,
battle.
like, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so cute. Okay, now cute's the wrong word too.
You can use it's fine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I just love all like the strong morals and stuff.
Yeah.
I think LA needs more of that. Aside from the gang stuff that they already have, but like just in general.
There's like a reason.
Yeah.
I think that's like one thing people don't know a lot about in Japan. They just like see people doing this stuff.
Kanjo.
And like they don't know that there's just like hierarchies and there's like a lot of rules to it. And,
yeah.
like if you fuck up, like you're gonna get checked. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has to be like that for it to work. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Especially because, you know, it's not that legal.
Yeah.
So people do have to be in check or it'll have a ripple effect on everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also like they all navigated towards each other because they all grew up the like same way or concept or reasons and stuff, right? And so I just love that the street smartness or street like morals just comes with that.
Yeah.
And they only know how to mesh with that with each other. I don't know. You know what I mean?
It just works.
Yeah. Versus like imagine a super nerd, like street, like book smart, like that wanted to get into Kanjo, could not understand like the morality of things,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it has to be a certain way for it to work.
Yeah, like you have to go through some shit to understand like street smartness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when I was in Hawaii, like Hawaii's still like a freshly gentrified-ish place-ish. So like a lot of people fought physically. When like let's say like someone just talked shit or something, like you will actually get called out and people would try not to talk shit as much because a lot of people fought or like confronted people and shit. You know? And like when I came to LA, maybe because I was in a more entertainment side, I was like, whoa, everyone talks so much shit and no consequences happen. You know what I mean? And like people snitch on each other so easily and nothing happens. And like there's zero like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about aliens and we talked about Kanjo. We talked about drifting. We talked about vegetables. We talked about origin stories. We talked about Hondas. We talked about drifting. We talked about international drifting. We talked about Gumball. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we did. That's a great podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those who are, you know, like to listen to life and a mixture of things, then this is for you.
Yeah.
Actually, they would have already watched it all by now and then hit this part. So like, I was like saying an intro.
Yeah, they made it this far. They're fucking real ones for sure.
Yeah, yeah. You like peeling layers of an onion.
Yeah, and neurodivergence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming out here and.
Hell yeah, Tarzana.
Fuck. Oh. I can't believe I did the beginning of the podcast too. We're gonna have to cut that out too.
No, it's great.
Sorry, Laura. Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
The Goodest Podcast.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Subscribe, like, comment, donate, subscribe.
Patreon.
Merch.
Just like send me money on Venmo. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Me too.
Yeah. Send her money on Venmo.
I need to go to Gumball again.
Yeah.
Actually. Oh, and then also dropping a brand soon called Bad Psyche. It actually means fuckboy in Korean.
Sick.
But like it sounds Japanese. But the person behind it is Korean, so I don't know. So if you're fuckboy. No, that's such a bad. If you anyways.
If you want
you'll see.
If you want Korean moms to look at you like you're insane, run it
up. If you know kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool though.
With the meaning, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty, yeah.
I would love to be a Korean fuckboy.
Excuse me?
They got fucking style, dude.
I think you have the wrong impression. Do you even know what a Korean fuckboy looks like? Not K-drama, like.
I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. What is it? Well, describe it.
Hello, ADHD. We were trying to cut it.
No, this is great. Keep it. What's a Korean fuckboy?
No, okay, me as a guy. That's it. Not even that bad, but.
That's sick. You dress cool.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. All right.
Well, take vegetable. I mean, we just keep reading this. Eat vegetables. Love yourself. Remind yourself that no one cares. Have fun in drifting or do what you love. Yeah, just do what you love.
Yeah.
Eat vegetables.
Yeah.
And yeah, be happy, guys, and buy my merch. And donate to the Goodest Podcast and subscribe and like and comment.
Yeah, this is the craziest sign off ever. Fucking all right, bye everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the whole episode. If you like the guest, be sure to give them a follow on social media. The link's in the description. Send them a message. Tell them you appreciated the episode. They put a lot into these. If you want to support us, check out the links below. Follow us on social media. Hit the subscribe on YouTube, Spotify. You can check out goodestco.com for the latest merch drops. Hit up the Patreon. See what we got cooking on there. We appreciate you guys.